Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am Bank, otherwise known as Black Auntie No Kids, and I do appreciate you clicking on the video and joining me as I do reactions, provide commentary, and just give us a place to discuss what's going on here on these YouTube streets. As usual, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel if you already haven't. Let's get started.
Closer. I don't have chlamydia anymore. Things that my ex has done and I have stayed, featuring me and my brother who's starting to witness all of this. One, my ex cheated on me with about 30 women over a 9-year span.
Did you say 30?
And if I'm gonna add to the story, in that process, I got chlamydia. And he got a girl pregnant. The baby ain't here, obviously. But while I was pregnant, this was a secret pregnancy. He got a girl a new apartment and furnished it, $8,000 worth of furniture. And then when I saw the $8,000, he lied to me and he told me that he hired her as their accountant for his business. And she said, don't pay me in money, buy my furniture for my apartment. And then just let me add a cherry on top. He had already cheated on me with her before.
Yo.
And I stayed after I confronted him for cheating on me while I was pregnant. This is a different secret pregnancy.
Number 2.
And the day after I got my abortion, he then said that if I jumped off of a cliff and died, him and Cairo would be fine. That's my son.
Wow. And she still stayed.
And I still stayed. And in that same conversation, he also said that I had nobody, and I had no family, and I had no friends, and no money.
Oh, lovely.
I stayed after, when he got the girl pregnant, I prayed for him because he cried and said that he wanted to unalive himself and put himself in an institution. So then I prayed for him and I forgave him. Graduation day. So he ruined my graduation and I stayed. The summer before our graduation, we had broken up. And he was going through my messages, and when I came back from my friend's dorm room, as I was walking towards my room, he just came out of nowhere, surprised me, and said, and then he spit on me, not once, but he spit on me twice. And then I started crying, and I went in the room, and then he punched a hole in my roommate's bathroom wall, and then he threw a chair on me. I ducked. 6 days after we broke up, not this breakup, but a different one, there were 2 girls fighting at his house over him, which obviously I found out later that, they did not meet and fall in love and fight for him within those 6 days. I stayed.
Like fight?
No, so one pulled up. This is going to be a separate story time, but in short, one pulled up while the other one was there because the other one was being petty and put Lambo, our dog, on her Snap story, and the other one was watching her, and then she pulled up because he lied and said he was out of town. How did I find out? Because his cousin and his cousin's wife was staying over there, and she don't really like him, so she told me, and I tried not to go, and then I changed my mind and I drove 45 minutes and I pulled up because that's unhealthy behavior. I don't encourage it. That was 2 years ago, but I stayed after I carried the balls in my relationship, just hidden deep inside my uterus. I threw out the trash. I would drop him and the baby off in the car and look for parking in New York City in the snow and then go back. I brought in the groceries and put them away. And then when I was pregnant with Cairo, I packed our entire apartment and unpacked it in month 8 and 9.
John Gay.
I stayed after he had sex with his ex in that same apartment. This is just the beginning. I am about to start laying y'all into my life. This is about to be a digital diary of me going from rich to poor and be struggling with El Gato.
Winning.
Who's El Gato? Stay tuned to find out. Part 2 of things my ex did and I stayed. I stayed after senior year. He had dropped out because his business was successful and he couldn't make it for Valentine's Day because of work. Super understanding. Come to find out, he was having sex with this Asian girl, and they actually ended up with a pregnancy scare because he don't believe in condoms on Valentine's Day. That's why he couldn't make it. Oh, and then remember the other video when he got mad at me about what I did when I was single a year ago? That same Asian girl, according to him, he was on a boys trip in Miami, but he was in Atlanta for my graduation. I stayed after I caught him. We were on a cruise and I saw text messages of him texting like 2 girls sexually. And then he told me that he was looking for a third for a threesome, but he wanted to text them first and figure that out first. I stayed after he fucked the babysitter. I stayed after I found out that he lied to a girl while I was pregnant and told her that he owned 2 homes and that I lived in another one with my boyfriend, and he let us stay there because I am mentally unstable and he's in fear of his son's life. So he just, funds my life and, just lets me rock so that his sons could have a relationship with his crazy mother. I was actually, though, pregnant, expecting his babies, and I think we had just finished taking Christmas pictures. I stayed after he let his sister read my diary when I was going through postpartum, rage after my first secret traumatic pregnancy. And he let her take pictures. That was 2 years ago, and she still hasn't said anything.
Pictures of what? Journal?
The journal. She got mad because she saw that I wrote in my journal that I wanted to be her ass. And I feel like you just proved my point.
Wasn't that a 21-year-old?
Oh, there was no, she wasn't 21, which was great. She was 20 because he tried to invite her for drinks and she couldn't go, which grossed me out when I saw the messages. I stayed after I had an emergency cyst removal surgery where they did tell me actually one more day and I actually would have probably died. They said, do not let her lift children. Kara was 1. Do not leave her alone. So we hired this young girl fresh off the boat of St. Martin, know his family, to help me out. And then one day, she needed some clothes and they decided to go shopping the entire day and leave me alone with my son, in which I proceeded to bust one of my stitches open. But that was who we hired to help me and prevent what just happened. They left for 6 hours.
Winning.
Our custom invitations came and they are better than I imagined. Everything from the detail, So what happened to the wedding? It's canceled, as you can assume if you have been watching. Now, why? Let's take this back. It's been a little chaotic on this page, so let's actually turn this into a story time. I'm gonna break this up into a couple of parts, but let's start with the reason why. We broke up February 2nd, and it has been a whirlwind ever since. Oh my God. Let's rewind to January 1st, the beginning of the year, top of the year. I want to do couples counseling because, not gonna lie, something in my spirit, it's not sitting right. I am a super romantic person and I didn't know what to put in my vows besides, great provider, good dad. Nothing that made my little tingle, nothing that made my heart, I couldn't find it. And we got into couples therapy. I got into my own personal therapy and I started doing a lot of self-work. Now, let's fast forward to the end of January. We get into an argument that turns into an actual physical, altercation. And at the end of it, I came out with the conclusion that wasn't even, about him. Yeah. Did he take it physically too far? Yeah. But I'm the one who actually started it. I threw a drink at him and it went from there. I'm the one who
when I reflected, took offense to something that at that moment wasn't what it was. It was a trigger from the past, the 9 years of shit. And then I started looking at myself and I'm like, I'm really one of the kindest, softest people I know. And that's ugly. And then I took a step back and I'm like, for the past 2 years, I've been sort of ugly and toxic. And I've never been like a saint, but when I talk about soft and kind and wanting to do for others and respectful, that has indeed always been me. So how am I not feeling that way in my own home? And it's because, this relationship has brought out the worst. It has been more than physical, emotional, and verbal abuse. And 2 years ago, a lot of things about infidelity and a lot of crazy things came to light. We had a crazy breakup, and honestly, it was like a traumatic time. And I think that was the beginning of the end, right? I accepted who he was. And then I proceeded to make a foolish decision to think that I could change who he was. So after I deluded myself, I then proceeded to re-delude myself just in a different way. And in that time of being patient and waiting for him to change, and that I could change him, I got angrier and I got more frustrated. And then I had a difficult pregnancy and that wasn't me. And then I started looking at the entire relationship as a whole. And I'm begging for bare minimum while giving so much and losing so much. Before I lost myself, we've been together for 9 years. I would say I lost myself for the first 7 in a more like, I didn't even lose. I would say, this is the timeline, 9 years, right? I didn't necessarily lose myself in the first 4. Like I had my own stuff going on, right? Once the abuse sort of started, then I got pregnant, I would say that I lost myself in a way that I didn't think I was deserving. I didn't think I was enough. In the past 2 years, it flipped in my head like, you're the bad guy. And that's how I messed up and I stayed, right? So the first step is acceptance, right, of who they are. But then the second step is accountability. So when everything like blew up, right, it was like him. So I put all this focus on changing him. And I completely forgot accountability of like my foolish decisions that got me still in this relationship here. And it wasn't until, boom, accountability hit. Those two things together, accepting who that person is and your accountability in that relationship, that was the last straw for me. Now, because we had a crazy breakup 2 years ago, I thought we was going to do this on more amicable terms, great for the kids, blah, blah, blah. As you can see in my stories, woo, that has not been the case. Everybody and their moms got arrested. Me, El Gato, my brother. I'm scratching the surface. I had archived my engagement video. I might put it up again when it's like, oh, my life's a movie. So it's sort of a sick joke. It's a sick joke because our life's a movie because of fuck shit like this. That's not the movie that I want to be in, and I'm still stuck in it. I can't wait for the sequel. So part 2, y'all. Part 2.
Now that we got the deep stuff out the way, let's get to the messy part. So first week was super amicable, right? So at the end of the week, I went to the strip club with my friends, and El Gato don't got friends. So I'm like, you know what? Come fuck with us. It's not like we haven't hung out together like this before. So we go to a strip club. I'm an idiot. Shouldn't have done that. Because he gonna be in the table next to us having a stripper on him talking about our personal problems right in front of me like she was a therapist. So after that, I decided it was time to implement some boundaries. So boundaries. I'm upstairs, you're downstairs. Cade is now 6 months, so let's put him in the crib, and that's how we'll alternate nights with him. Since we were crib transitioning, Cade was acting a whole damn fool the night before. So Friday comes, I bathe the kids. I'm so excited. I got my friend coming over. We're about to binge watch Love is Blind. And then I see El Gato with cologne on, getting ready, all that. I'm like, where you going? No te viste que tú no vas. I'm confused, you know, but I gotta stay in my lane. So I'm just like, you know, it's your turn. And he's like, oh, I didn't think you were serious, blah, blah. I'll be back by 1 a.m. Okay. So it's not that serious. You'll be back by 1. Bet. Now, I didn't say that I had screws loose. I may or may have not put an air tag in that man's car. I never said I was a saint, and I never said I ain't had no screws loose, okay? So my friend is here now, and I'm just watching that little dot go, go, go. Guess where that little dot end up 2 hours later? The dot end up 2 hours away in a little town called Athens. What's special in Athens? Well, Athens, there's a girl named Sarah that used to cheat on me with while I was pregnant. I say, Jasmine, you know what? Call your girlfriend. It's a road trip. We about to go. Have her come watch the kids. 15 minutes, she is here, and we are following the dot. Where does the dot lead me to? A strip club called Toppers. Sarah was a sex worker, and she worked at a strip club, and she's from Athens. Like, who goes 2 hours out to a hole-in-the-wall strip club when we live in Atlanta with no boys? So literally we are 15 minutes away, and he starts driving back. Damn. Oh well, you know what? It's fine. We drive back. I wasn't gonna go to this trip that I had already paid for everything. It was my friend's annual birthday trip. And honestly, I was in tears. I'm a dramatic. I'm like, oh, how could you do this to me? Ah. Missed the flight and everything, right? So, you know, I missed the flight. He buys me a new flight. He's like, no, go. I'm sorry. You deserve this. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I go. I listen to my therapist, and she's like, you know what? Just be chill. So the whole first night, I literally stay home and I cry it out. I let them go out, do their thing, and I cry it out. Now, for the rest of the week, though, since you want to be in Athens, not Athens, Greece, I'm finna be in Cabo, actually Mexico, and I'm about to get lit. Here's the problem. I forgot that I was logged in on my Instagram on his phone. So if you just want to see a little bit of what he saw, imagine when I got back from Cabo, shit got real. Like all that stuff that you were seeing on my page, that's part 3. Stay tuned. Part 3 of what happened to the wedding. There are 4 undisputed facts. 1, I ended up with a black eye. 2, I got arrested. 3, El Gato was arrested. And 4, my brother was arrested. So what led to that? Well, I'm gonna tell you right now. Years of abuse, right? That pressure is gonna sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. And the difference is, I'm not a pressure cooker. I don't got a top. And in short, El Gato fucked up and I fucked up. March 2nd, after things get physical, the police get involved. After I called the police, I literally was on the cusp of an anxiety attack because El Gato was talking about my motherhood, threatening me with lawyers, financial, and I literally could not talk when they arrived. Now that becomes a problem. My friend pulled up because she was on the phone. So there was another police officer who wasn't really happy with the way the other police officers were conducting themselves. So he gave us their badge numbers to report. That tidbit gonna be relevant later, so keep that in mind. Fast forward to the next day, I come back, but I'm not really feeling safe, so I come back with my 3 friends. Yo, why is there a bitch in my kitchen counter in my own home 24 hours after I got a black eye? Yo, when I say me and my 3 girls walked in there like, hello, I got a black eye. Yo, she looked shook, we looked shook, everybody confused, minus El Gato. El Gato's sitting there like, meow, just chilling, like this is normal behavior, right? Yo. So, I got my ride or die Jazz. Remember Jazz from the AirTag? Yeah, Jazz, she down with shits. So, I look at the girl and I'm like, hello, well, I live here, and as you can see, we had a altercation last night. The police were involved. I'm trying to, figure out what's going on. And then El Gato has the audacity to ask me, what am I doing here? In my home. So then my friend Jazz goes, it's wild to me that you're still here after seeing a girl with a black eye. The girl then proceeds to FaceTime her people. Jasmine takes it up a notch. I find it wild that you are still here after seeing a girl with a black eye. She just looking confused. Then Jazz goes into the pantry and starts collecting food for my baby Cade, who at the time was 6 months. The girl is still not moved. So Jazz repeats herself a 3rd time and says, it's crazy to me that you are still here after seeing someone with a black eye. Like, do you want to be the next victim? The girl finally gets up and leaves. And, I come out and I'm like, yeah, El Gato's an abuser, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, thank you. Oh my God. El Gato is livid. And also, if you don't believe me, boom, here's footage of the girl walking out, leaving the house. I can't make this shit up.
No, shot her asking him what he got going on.
Something is seriously wrong with him.
He talking about I can't open the door in his house. Nigga, your house.
Yeah. Something's really wrong with that man. Something is.
So you know how narcissists do. The day couldn't be over. So of course he had to do a smear campaign and send a recording with him and the police officers to all my friends, showing, look, she's an abuser. Guess what? Sent it to my legal and found out that there was procedural misconduct. Not only did you just give me evidence for a police complaint to show that y'all were kikiing, but also it adds to the fact that, can you believe these people did not take pictures? But it's okay, because right after I left the scene, I went to a gas station, bought a lotto ticket so you could see the time, and took my pictures. Enough was enough. I'm pressing charges. So when I did that, that's when things go down. The judge is not happy about the procedural misconduct. And she asked me, what department is this? I tell her the department. And guess what? The entire department has to go to headquarters. Once the judge contacts that police department and they get in trouble, right? That was around 3 p.m. At 10 p.m., that officer went back, because, it's up to them. It's up to their discretion, and pressed charges on me and El Gato. And what happens next is I get arrested in a couple of days in my nightgown, in my muumuu, free bleeding, like new period. Haven't brushed my teeth, nothing, fresh out the house. And it got crazy. It got crazy. So y'all gotta stay tuned. What happened when I got arrested? Just know that there was a girl in there for attempted murder and arson. She tried to run away from her pimp. Yeah, that's how my day went.
I decided that when I'm ready to speak up, I want to vlog this experience for people who have been in abusive relationships. Right now I'm in a moment where a lot of my friends don't agree with things that I'm doing, and I have a few group of friends who other friends may call yes men, but they don't actually know what's going on behind the scenes. This is the first time in 9 years that we've been together. Let's say 7, right? 7 out of the 9 were bad. I'm in the court right now. I'm in family court. I'm probably doing this vlogging thing, honestly, to procrastinate the fact that I have to step through these doors, but I want to share my story. Like, I'm getting emotional walking through these doors, but I can't get emotional because that's what he wants from me. I get frazzled when I'm emotional. But I want to actually, to whoever this is, it's gonna get better. And if people leave you in this process, like, forget them. Forget them. Y'all see me, I'm a well-kept woman all the time. This is what I'm looking like. I'm missing a fucking veneer tooth, which wasn't him. That was Christmas. I ate something hard. But like, but we gonna get through it. I look like a bum, but we gonna get through it. And it's time for me to go inside, and I'm not gonna lie, like a ball is in my throat, but we're gonna go through. We're gonna go through with this. Oh shit, I just walked through the doors. God. Oh God, I'm gonna cry. No, I'm not. So that was my mugshot of my arrest. And this is the craziest thing that has literally happened to me. I'm coming down because I hear the banging. And it's like the first day of my period type thing. But I hear banging, so I'm just going to answer the door. And this is the muumuu. This is the nightgown that I wore. I open the door and I see the police officers, and remember, I have a TPO that hasn't been served yet. So I'm thinking maybe they're looking for El Gato because it's the same residence. So I'm like, hey, my little nice voice. And oh, can you step outside? Yes, guys, I did step outside. Yo, sis grabbed me immediately, like not even a millisecond. I'm like, what's happening? Ricky. Yo, they came in deep. Like, I got a back door, and I always have it open for Lambo. 2 in the back, 2 in the front. They looking for me. They're looking for Gato. They got the pictures like this. Yo, I'm like in these long stairs. I have to go down my little white neighborhood, just bring the Bronx in there. Oh, my God. Like, yo, my shoulder hurts. I'm like, what about my Miranda rights? They said, fuck your Miranda rights. I'm like, what's happening? They're like, you'll find out in jail. I'm like, and then for real, I asked them, I'm like, I'm free bleeding. Can I put on a tampon and a pad or a pad? They're like, we'll handle that in jail. Yo, girls, y'all know, first day of period. So I get there and I'm at this point in a state of shock and anxiety. The day before, I had gone to urgent care because I wasn't feeling well. That was really less than 24 hours ago. I have a robe, too. We go get booked in, and this stupid lady come from inside. I'm not bothering nobody. Like, oh, why would she leave the robe? Again, I use my nice voice. I'm like, oh, because it's detachable. Sis don't care. She take the robe, and now I'm inappropriate because it's men and women. They put me in jail clothes. There's nobody in the prison, in jail, besides me in the yellow jail clothes that you saw. Mind you, the black eye healing, my hair is knotted, fresh out the morning. My armpits stink, like my breath stink. If I'm going to be honest with you, my hygiene was not the best in the first month of the breakup. And this was supposed to be the day I got my hygiene together. So you didn't really give me a chance to start at that. Yo. Racing. You see all that? That was my mind. This girl who I didn't know was crazy yet. I just got there. She was like, oh, I have ADHD. Can I help with the lunch thing? In my head, I'm like, that's a great question. Literally, that's the tone I hear because I felt like I was a Karen in there. That's a great question. So I get my stupid ass up. I walk over there, and obviously that's not an option. The lady's like, yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Sit down. I sit down. It's fine, right? So the girl I start learning is crazy. She is literally right next to me in the phone. And yo, this is when I knew I had no business being there, but I knew I really had no business in there when I heard her story. Beautiful girl too, which was sad. 21, 22, something like that. Coming off the coat. She just ran away from her pimp. And she was with her boyfriend, but then they got into it. So then she met up with her friends who were also under the pimp, 2 of them, and it was a setup. They start jumping her at the gas station, and she's explaining the story super nonchalant, which is crazy. And she's like, I grabbed the only weapon that I had, gasoline. So yeah, sis was in there for arson and attempted murder. Right next to me, mad chill, asking me like, do you know how to work this? Like, nah, sis, I don't. Nah. And they put us in lockdown because of her, right? Now she's in lockdown, talking about Eat my ass, you white motherfuckers! I'm a black woman! How dare you touch me and put me in here? Yo, wildin'. Now we go in lockdown. This is about 5:45. I was walking to the phone to make sure, because this was unexpected, making sure that my son got picked up and handled. All right, not possible. All right, I'll be patient. Time passes, boom, boom, boom. Hey. Yeah, that don't work in jail, but I thought it would. You know, that usually works like, you know, like at the spa or some shit like that. Man comes and I tell him the situation, right? Like, my son, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you had all day. Why didn't you do that? I'm like, because it's 5:45 now. Now it's pickup time. I want to confirm. Like, I wouldn't be able to predict. Like, he's like, all right, well, if I have to let you get on the phone, I'd have to let all the women whose moms get off the phone. But I'll see what I can do. I already knew what that meant. Whatever. Again, I told y'all that I was in urgent care, and y'all got a big-ass sign over there saying if you don't feel well, tell someone. Now she ignoring me. Now I'm getting irritated. It's that girl with the robe. Because I see you looking at me. And I see you seeing me, see you type of thing. Now I start slamming. Then she's like, yo, stop. And there's like a curtain thing, right? And she like threatens to pull down the curtain. And I'm like, what's that gonna do? I can't see. Like, the fuck? So she come like, what's up? I'm like, I just want some water. Like, you guys said that if you don't feel well, like, talk to the nurse. You know, water is just a human basic necessity. She's like, oh, I'll get you a styrofoam cup. As you can imagine, that did not happen. Whatever. You know, I'm starting to get the memo that I have no rights. I'm bonded. Me and this other girl saying we're about to be released. Old girl starts acting up again, and she's acting up to a point that now they need men COs can't touch them. So now they need the force of all the women. Guess what? Women COs are the only ones who can release you. So now I have to wait another hour, right? Sis is spitting on them. Sis is talking about, oh, where's your car? He's like, here. Oh, you better act like it. I ain't gonna lie, I started laughing because I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? I don't even know what that means. Like, they put a bag over her, they strapped her, and, they took her in. Come back maybe 45 minutes later, finally come out. And sadly, the worst part of my day is actually yet to come. That was just what happened in jail. Because what y'all don't understand is what the disarray, what happened outside of jail, in my personal opinion, is wilder than what happened in jail. Okay? And that is the next part. So I just came back from jail. I was arrested 2 weeks after the incident because I put a complaint on a police officer as advised by a lawyer. And apparently all the police officers had to go to the headquarters. And then he got mad. So the police officer pressed charges on me 2 weeks after the incident with no criminal record, no nothing. And I literally had the most humiliating day. Like, you didn't even care about my kids. Like yesterday I was at the clinic. I've been getting migraines and I haven't been feeling well. And I found out that I'm actually literally naturally in a state of ketosis. This isn't love. If, the person that I was gonna marry literally 2 months ago, and I'm in and out. I was gonna marry someone 2 months ago, and now I have a black eye, migraines, ketosis. Look at me. Do I look like the person? And it's messed up because I've been keeping my cool for a whole month, and I finally lost my cool once. And the whole world comes down on me. And that man has gotten physical with me so much. Like, it's just like, I got my 6-month-old in my lap. I should be coming out of postpartum now. I feel stupid and unworthy for being in this relationship, and I know I'm worthy to be the mother to these kids. And I know it's not true, but I just feel like I should be vulnerable because every time people share their story, they're always talking about the strong part, but not the not strong part. So it's the day after the whole jail thing. And last night, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, right? Again, I'm vlogging this so that people just see the truth in like real time and like even relate. Those who can't get out, those who feel like everyone's looking at them like they're crazy. Last night, I wanted to die. I haven't felt that way in a long time, which was really disheartening. But I know that growth is not linear. Like, I haven't felt that way in like 2 years. So that sucked. And it wasn't like an active like feeling of I want to like die. In terms of like, you know, I'm actually gonna do it. Like, I got kids and, you know, I learned my worth. Therefore, I'm not gonna do it. But I don't want to give up, you know. And I woke up this morning, and for the first time in a long time, I didn't pray. But then a friend of mine who's pretty religious, right? We spoke and we prayed. That's all we prayed. And, you know, it brought me back. So what happens after I get arrested? So through my brother as a third party, you know, he was like, hey, ceasefire this weekend. The TPO hasn't been served, so legally you guys can still be in the same place. He also finesses us, you know, some groceries and things for the house. So we made a Target run with El Gato, and then things got a little disrespectful and we got into it. I'm like, you know what, for the groceries, I'll send you a list and you can Instacart. The following day, we received the Instacart. El Gato blesses us with a $400 budget. I'm like, yes, maybe my brother coming, things are gonna turn around. Common sense will prevail. And after I give him the grocery list, he says he's gonna prioritize his son's likes and needs. No problem, wonderful. Okay, El Gato then proceeds to buy 96 waffles, about 40 pancakes, and a bunch of canned goods. I can't make this up. I vlogged the experience that weekend, so tune. He has a budget. Why he gonna sit here and buy all of these fucking pancakes? These are 12 a box. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 12. What the fuck is that? That is 96. That's 96 waffles. My son eats 2 to 3 at a time. Yup. More of the cinnamon French toast sticks. More cinnamon French toast sticks, right? More pancakes. Remember, we had a $400 budget, y'all. So whatever he couldn't make it, right? Simply because of the budget. And I agreed, because isn't that fair? But look how he played with me. Look where the budget went. Why did he buy cups and plates when I already bought cups and plates yesterday? Right? This is just you trying to be funny. Now this, come on. Nah, wait, stop, y'all. I'm telling y'all, this is it. Nah, chill. I'm genuinely actually not even offended, because at this point, he's done worse things. So like this at least is more comedic, right? Attempt to be petty, and now I'm not laughing anymore. Because see, I can laugh when it comes to myself, but I can't laugh when it comes to me. I mean, when it comes to my son. So my son literally was begging yesterday for snacks because we've ran out of snacks. I have money that's very limited to get us through, and I don't have a car. This man, this is the only snack he just got for his child. Ricky, look at this shit. This is the only snack he got for Cairo. You're so focused on being actively petty, right, that you actually forgot the main reason we even did the ceasefire. Food for our children, yo. A goldfish bag that my son ended up finishing in 48 hours at home anyways. Then I see from the joint Cash App that El Gato had rarely been using El Gato simultaneously sends $1,500 to a girl named Takaya. I don't know. You saw that kissy face? Okay. Again, I want to remind you the timeline of where we are right now. This is probably now 5 weeks post breakup of a 9-year relationship engagement. And also I'm begging for snacks to see that. I start wilding. I done hack the Cash App, change the icon to my black eye, and then I request her, God, unhinged, maybe like 30 times. He's an abuser. The kids need snacks. The kids need snacks. He keeps trying to log in. I log him out. Then he changes the icon to a DoorDash order with his son's snacks. Why did I have to do all that? One thing about me, I'm a detective. And at that moment, I was still invested. I'm not made out of stone. So I screenshot her picture on Cash App and I reverse Google search it and I find her Instagram. I'm blocked. How am I already blocked? 2 things now. 1, the next day, El Gato gets arrested in public. Stay tuned. 2, Takaya, whoever, becomes a character in this whole thing. Oh, she had... Just wait. Next person to be arrested, El Gato, and in public. So I told El Gato, we have to start this process. I need my child support. I need this whole legitimation. I need it all to start. Go get served. You don't, by Monday, I'm calling them. Okay, I call. I had completely forgotten that when they pulled up to arrest me, they had my picture and El Gato's picture. My brother and I had warned him, but El Gato was arrogant. Oh no, you see, that's what happens when you involve the cops. You're stupid, blah, blah, blah. That's what she gets. Then we're like, no, they're looking for you. Like, no, my lawyer checked. That's not true. Okay. I call them. They call me. And they're like, oh, he has been served. And then he's also been arrested. Yo, that threw me for a loop. Oh my God. Where was he arrested? I was across the street. I was in Publix and he was at a little small white quaint cafe. And if they came 4 deep for me, I know for you, it's the TPO and the charges and they've been looking for you for a week. I know they came 8 or 10 deep. And my brother, he's like, how you feel, sis? And I'm like, it was like the first sense of justice, like the cards beginning to turn, the tide beginning to change, and it continues to get positive for me in this storyline moving forward. But we're across the street. My brother's like, let's have fun with this. Let's reenact. And this is also the moment that El Gato, the name, came to be, but that's a separate story. Watch the reenactment in the place that he was actually arrested.
Whoop, whoop. Please be advised, we have eyes on the suspect. He's at the Smyrna Market Village. Positive ID. FBI report. The chopper is up in there.
El Gato.
El Gato has been spotted. Where? All units. El Gato. El maldito gato. El maldito gato está aquí, loco. Please be filed. Radio down, radio silence. Man, please right there, my man. Stop right there. Wait. We got a problem here. Stop right there. We do have the suspect. in now. He's at the Cafe Tequila. Permission to take down. Permission granted. Please take down. Like that.
I know I said that things started looking up for me, and they did, but the story gets actually more interesting. So my brother gets arrested 48 hours later. Stay tuned.
Hello. We're pawning things today, and I just stepped in a puddle. We are in the city. This is Jerry's Pawn. They have really good reviews. So the only way I'm gonna be sane is if I don't think about anything negatively. I just learned a lesson. So this is in Decatur. I need to call their partner pawn shop that's in Buckhead and see, because they have a better clientele. He told me I got that rich people stuff. Wrong clientele. Like what I'm trying to sell, but they have to send it to our authenticator to see if, you know, if it's fake or not. So I'm waiting, right? I gave them one of my Van Cleefs. I lost the other one. I gave them my engagement ring, a Fendi bag, a Gucci bag, and that's all that they were willing to take and check. So let's see. Pawn Shop Chronicles. So out of all my things, only 2 things I decided to end up selling with them, which was a pair of Dior shoes and a Fendi bag. And in total, I came out of there with $360. And my uncle sent me $400 on Western Union ever since I shared my story. So, okay, some money is coming in. We're doing good. So tonight I'll be taking really good quality pictures of all my things and putting it on Facebook Marketplace and seeing how that goes. If anyone has tips for selling stuff, let me know.
Good morning. Like nothing can ruin my shine anymore, ladies and gentlemen. So what is going on in today? So today, when I tell y'all something new happened every day, I have woken up today with a 3-day notice and demand for possession of my beautiful home that I built for my children. Why? Because this is the 2nd month in a row. I think last month, El Gato was 18 days late. This month, he is now 4 days and they're not playing. Now there's a $525 fee. And then they will demand for possession. Let's see. I got until... And then you got to go in person. Oh, you got to tell me you got to go in person. Oh.
Just whatever the fuck that notice is, I'm not explaining shit. I'm just going to screenshot it to him.
So, 3 more days. So, guess what? We got a snitch in the house. So, apparently, El Gato goes and emails the leasing center. Can you believe that, Lambo? Snitches on me and my brother and tells them that I'm in violation of the lease. Now, boom, 125, boom, 85. Those are 2 new fees, and an inspector has to come in the next 10 days and make sure that he's gone. You know, the brother who's here to protect me mentally, emotionally, and physically, and also be our 3rd person party so that, you know, El Gato could see his kittens. Isn't that right? And that's what, si eso porque we don't like gatos, right? That's why. So now I call, right? And I'm like, yo, explain the situation. Lady, fed up. I'm like, can you speak to? She's like, I don't even want to call him. Like, he actually the one who emailed Jen, like, you know, maybe handle the rent and eviction and stuff before, you know, snitching on yourself. Because me, I'm leaving. And I got the TPO. I can remove my name off the lease. The children... Bruh, I was crying earlier because of the kids. I'm leaving. The kids, though, like, what am I going to tell Cairo, right, if he got to leave? What about his Spider-Man room? What about the backyard? What about all these damn new questions that I don't have answers for? So, we'll see. God got us. I'm hoping that... Actually, I don't know what I'm hoping for because me and that lady on the phone was just like, I'm going to just talk to Jennifer. And I'm like, I'll talk to my lawyer. Like, we don't know what to do, like, both of us. And I'm like, I know you got a job. And she's like, yeah, I know you got a situation. And we're just like, click. So, I guess I'm going to wait to hear back. Yeah, I don't know. Lambo, ¿y qué tú piensas del gato, right? Just... Yo! So, El Gato sends me a cease and desist yesterday, right? And, you know, I am smarter than your average bear, bitch. So, I, you know, did my research, consulted with some lawyers, and I'm like, nothing to be worried about. Something in my spirit told me this morning to look up that not only does this law office not exist here. This man don't exist. This address got no law firm. And then what made me even laugh even more, this phone number is Olga, the psychic in California. If you're looking for your twin flame, she's a twin flame expert. So, you know, if anyone at least gets something out of this video, maybe you can find your twin flame. Yo, I got this shook. I feel so good after years of being in fight or flight, being on a defense, to finally sort of be in an offense. And, you know, having got those shook. I got the running. This is it's just hilarious. It's how you send me a fake cease and desist? What y'all think? I'm thinking Chat GBT. Yo, I'm sorry, this shit got me weak. Oh my God. Unhinged. This is not the first time this man has falsified documents to scare me. El Gato Chronicles. Quing, quing, quing. We are officially homeless. El Gato came with the sheriff's office because the TPO covered my reallocation and everything. But of course, he found a technicality. He gave me the reallocation money late. I wasn't able to secure a place till May 5th. We agreed on it. And then he appeared today with the sheriff and he kicked me out. So here we are on the street. It has been advised to me to keep him away from the kids because he's just doing too much. So it's me, my brother, and the kids homeless until the 5th. All the people I know have 1 bedrooms and stuff like that. So us 4, I don't know. I called my landlord. He has bread. He might help me. It sucks because I just secured the mal de ojo. I'm not going to tell you, but let's just say I secured a phenomenal job that I will be starting on the week of May 6th, like a 9 to 5. Like I cried of gratitude, overwhelmed with God's gratitude. Like, and then I have, you know, the little waitressing bottle girl job on the weekends that I did a training, but I don't start getting paid till. But you know, this is an inconvenience. He's just doing this because. Truthfully, I got upset because I was stuck at the club because I had no money, and it's like 3 a.m. and it's just so embarrassing, and I was just fed up. And you know, I pulled the card and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do everything in my power because this business is super illegitimate, and I'm gonna show you guys with this new job that I secured, I'm gonna learn a lot of things. So I am building a fraud case against him. And then even though I showed you guys how much money he has, he didn't want me to take the furniture. So this is way of stopping me. And then he thinks that's gonna like stop the fraud thing. And then Daddy Dearest hit me up today as he's like, I'm gonna make this stop today. You think that me being homeless is gonna stop me? I've been homeless before because I'm from the Bronx and my mom is crazy. So that's not gonna stop me. If anything, all that does is sort of put a fire under my ass. So yeah, I mean, I'm fine. I'm not really like tripping. I'm waiting for my lawyer to call me back. I'm only not tripping because every time I trip, it's like a waste of my time. So I'm just like loud. You're loud and proud. I'm also loud and proud. Like, you think I'm leaving this corner? No, me and your kids, except for the baby, are gonna sit in this corner. My brother is not super a fan of sitting in that, but yeah. So we'll see. And then I have to call Renters Warehouse because I gotta redo the lease. And I'm hoping, you know, if I could show that it's fraudulent, maybe they won't renew it. I don't know. So yeah, I'm keeping the kids for sure now. He's up there laughing with his uncle. But I mean, he never tells his family the full story, so I'm not really like pressed at all. But yeah, so this is the situation, yeah. We are homeless. What? 8 months postpartum, homeless. But it's okay. I'm not tripping. Like, you have no idea. Like, I'm too blessed to be stressed. Like, yesterday, I literally cried tears of gratitude to the Lord. I don't even know how that opportunity. I've cried off most of my lashes.
I woke up feeling horrible. This will be the last time this man will humiliate me. I have no problem with crying because I'm so close to this all being over on Sunday. According to the lawyers, he has done enough that I can cut him off and not look like a bitter baby mama. He has literally shown his ass with evilness that even a lawyer would see it clear as day, especially with this last move. So I am changing my number. I already contacted T-Mobile. I'm getting a whole new thing. I have a new address, everything. So he can't track me, he can't nothing. And I have a video that I'm gonna make with proof, literal tangible proof that he has indeed been tracking and stalking me, because, you know, he denies it all. Can you believe he offered me the Airbnb that he's been staying at? Like, all my things are over there. Like, I'm gonna stay strong. And I'm staying my ass right here. Because I don't want nothing from him. He said yesterday it's over, all this. I'm gonna make sure it's over. You're right, you finally released me. And he's been threatening me with the kids, you know, this, that, and third, like, you know, I'm gonna look like a bitter baby mom because he's not in endangerment. You just kicked me out. And even though the whole Airbnb, no, like, you kicked me out. You think the Airbnb thing smooths things over? No, you have officially, by 4 different lawyers, shown that you are not a good dad by this move. So now I can actually take them. So I deleted the custody app and I deleted everything. I just asked him via email, can I just grab some necessities today for me and my son? But it's the last time. I can't, it's just so difficult, but I can't wait till Sunday. I feel sick. I don't feel well. I wish you would disappear off the earth. But again, it's just a temporary cry because this really means nothing. I can still get my furniture. It's already set in stone. I'm still moving on Sunday because I'm selling the Rolex. Everything is, all you did was just give me and my son a hard time for a couple of days. But you've also freed me by pushing too hard and allowing me to finally cut you off and not look crazy in the court. So me and my children are finally free from you. Yeah, this is where I'm staying. They don't even bother to put a lampshade on. But I got the Rolex and I brought my most expensive purse, which I saved for an emergency. So here we are. There are cigarette burns already on this blanket. Oh wow, that just made me real uncomfortable. But whatever. Me and my son and then Cade, we're gonna grab him tomorrow. Only thing is, I really wish they had ice, but I bought a bunch of waters. Hello. We went to Dollar Tree, got some stuff for the baby, some towels. Got some stuff for my period. Then someone came through and got me outfits for Bottle Girl this weekend. And then I already was running out of my cleanser, so I just caved in and bought a cleanser. But everything else is Dollar Tree. Washcloth soap, loofah. And we had some people come through, bring some toys. Oh. And we got Some people came through and brought some clothes. I got a whole suitcase. Brought some shoes for him. So yeah, my son is good. And I just missed it. He was in his Black Panther Vibranium outfit. I just want to say though, after showing you guys the tour, I am so grateful. As you can see, all my lashes came off, which was also a free favor, because I've been crying all day, but finally, I just prayed and switched my perspective, and I feel so blessed. We could be in the street, but you guys are the reason that I have a roof over my head with my kids, a blanket. People came through with clothes for work for me, for my son, toys, money for food, money for toiletries. I do not have to go back to that man at all. And honestly, I feel freer at this budgetel than in that house of luxury. How did El Gato manage to kick me out my own house with the police and sheriff? It all goes back to a month ago at the TPO hearing when I signed that I would leave April 30th. And he came May 1st with the sheriffs and everything ready to kick me out. So what happened at the TPO? El Gato comes with blatant straight up lies and says that he broke up with me because I'm mentally unstable and a danger to his kids, and this is my revenge. I'm not really sure why El Gato didn't think that I wouldn't have a text message, that said something around the lines of, you blindsided me, and at least I'm not doing what I would have done before, like we've had that conversation. So it all super backfires. Then his first offer is just $2,500 flat and then drop the TPO, while simultaneously sending to his new girl, Takaya, $3,500. Again, to mess with me. And where does he send it? He sends it through my Zelle, right? But yeah, that super backfired. So when she presented all the evidence I had against him, on top of the evidence I had that refuted his entire case, he had no choice but to consent. Because you could go up to the judge and your whole credibility, the whole thing is just gonna go really bad. Oh my God. He was going in circles. He was so frustrated with his lawyers. Like, why am I paying you guys? Like, the narcissism came out. The same man who was talking about, oh, don't worry, we're gonna have a congratulatory steak dinner. This is gonna be over soon, laughing and stuff like that. Yeah, so how did that pan out? My lawyer said, boom, just because you wanna act like that. Reallocation fee. El Gato had to pay 3 months worth of rent and child support, and that's just temporary because you just want it to be like that. And I should have asked for more, but it's okay. I found out later that I should have, because I really had him up against the wall. Can you believe that El Gato gaslit me and was like, your lawyer misinterpreted that? I didn't say that. So my lawyer just completely misheard everything. And the whole day went to 8:15 off of mishearing you. The gaslighting be crazy. El Gato had us there till 8:15. Everybody was just tired. Even his lawyer, literally 8:15, he's about to throw it all away for what? He's like, I want her to write down that she stole $8,000 from me. His lawyer comes up to us and she says that, and my lawyer's like, what? Why? And then his lawyer's just like, I don't know. Yo, obviously that did not happen, and none of his requests happened, because I kept like, no. And my lawyer was like, I'm glad you because I got you in a corner. And El Gato keeps saying, well, I consented at the kindness of my heart. No, you was backed into a corner. You were losing it, just like how you're losing your scalp follicles, and it was shining in the courtroom. You were losing it. So yeah, he consented, and that's how that happened. He like spits in my face, and it throws me completely off, obviously. And then he's like, oh, like, you fuck somebody raw, like this, that, and that. I couldn't even tell you what that man said to me. It was like a partial association. And then right now we're now in the hallway like this, and then he does it again. He goes, he spits on me again. And at that point I start crying, and I just like, slide down to the ground. That's violent in general, but the reason I feel like it's even more vile, right? So El Gato knows me like the back of his hand. He knows my childhood traumas. like I said, I had a traumatic childhood. So unfortunately for me, that was actually like my mother's main form of punishment in a much more like, you know, crazy way. But, you know, like I remember like she would like corner me like in the kitchen and she would just like spit on me over and over and over again, like little girl. It like throws me because, you know, I can't envision like Cairo like being cornered and like, yeah. And she would just like a rabid like. So again, it's vile, but there is a lot of trauma associated to that as well. So for you to do that, right? So then we go inside. So my best friend and my mom didn't see that. And, you know, we go inside and he's like mad and he punches a hole in my roommate's bathroom. And he throws a chair at me and, you know, I duck, it doesn't hit me. And yeah, at that point, I didn't have any money. I didn't have anybody. And yeah, my mom was there, but she was mentally ill. And on top of the fact that she was mentally ill, at that time, she was in denial that she was in had a bedbug infestation for like a whole year. And I'd already been through that. I wasn't going to do that again. I was actually house hopping on vacations senior year at Emory because of that. And, you know, I got a job offer at Google, but, you know, El Gato, he started his business and he was like, you know, I'll fund your business. And, you know, as a naive 21-year-old girl, that sounded beautiful. So I rejected Google. And that was the first time it happened. And I had no choice but to go with him. And I remember the irony of it was I was crying and, you know, he hugs me and he says, why do you keep hurting me? And I would say, so, you know, I tell my therapist, like, if you go through my timeline of life, there are these big major moments in my life that changed a lot of things. This is definitely one of those moments. I feel like all the power I had given my mom, like, through that weird spitting shit, like, I gave it to him. So that was that. And I said I was going to be vulnerable, but I just got my lashes done today. Yeah. So it's been a long decade. But I'm on the other side. And I'm in this... Nah, no tears because I just got my lashes done, y'all. And I got them done for free. It's a blessing. I can't. But, you know, I have people messaging me and, like, watching my story, and it's helping them. And, you know, like I said, I trauma dump for free. You know, so why not right here? Woo! So yeah. That was the start of the abuse. And to me, if you've ever been in a situation, you'll know that I'll eat the physical shit up. Yo, yesterday was crazy. I finally moved out, but El Gato did everything in his power to stop it. Last thing we left off at, he kicked me out last minute, a couple days before my thing, blindsided me. Cool. Fast forward now to May 5th, which was supposed to be my original move out date. El Gato allowed me to go back home and start packing some of my clothes. We show up, and first of all, he tells my brother to wait outside for hours just because he can. Then As I am packing, El Gato is literally verbally harassing me, emotionally torturing me. Like, he's making fun of the fact that I've lost so much weight and that I look like I have a rough, hard life. And he's gonna, send 500 over for me to fatten up. It's honestly like psychological warfare. I even asked him, like, leave me alone, leave me alone. In which every time I asked him, leave me alone, or said he was harassing me, he goes, oh, harassing, I'll kick you out. I'll call the sheriff right now if you want to do it that way. So literally he forced me to listen to him. At that point, I'm like, I'm not even going to file the motion for the furniture. You can keep the furniture. My sanity is worth in this. I was prepared to move into a fully empty house. Also, we were supposed to do furniture negotiations. And then when I come back, he is telling me I can't get anything, not even the kids' furniture, because he can't find a lamp, Kyra's Spider-Man thing, and a record player. Please look at the following footage just so you can see how he is a pathological liar and a little bit of how he's treating me.
How many people are against you? No idea.
So everyone's against. Who are these people against me, and how are they relevant? Is your family, like, is it your family? Like, who are these relevant people who are against me? Police officers? Like, who?
No, the people that actually saved your motherhood and my fatherhood. So just know.
Who?
I won't say any names.
He has no friends. Who is he talking about? The sitter? The sitter has...
I literally saw the fear in your face as the Trex came in. Like, stop trying.
Wait, you talking about when Carla came? So...
You're literally like, stop, he's gonna take my kid.
Wait, oh my God, wait, look at that. Look at him laughing. Look at him laughing. Wait, look at him laughing. Look at the fear. Yeah. Look, you're going to take away my kid. No, not you. No. Laughing at my fear. Y'all saw that. Y'all saw the narcissist. He just laughed.
And your brother literally are erratic. D-Facts literally came to Carla's house and said, "Is the mom okay?" And Carla was like, "She's fine, other than her mental health. Your mental health is in question. Your brother is in question by D-Facts, not me. D-Facts. I am now coming to you and making sure that while you're moving somewhere else, that the environment that my two kids are in, that everyone is actually concerned about, is actually being addressed. It has nothing to do with control. It has everything to do with the boxes that you checked off actually was consistent with what your mother's mental health is consistent with. And your mom, if I'm correct, she doesn't have an official diagnosis, but you think it could be some form of schizophrenia, no? I'm asking you if that's the case with your mother. I'm not saying
I'm not a medical professional, that's why I always put that.
These were words that you told me. That's why.
Yeah, I said I think she has narcissism, probably bipolar 1, and with schizoaffective traits, because she's definitely not schizophrenic, but I think she may have schizoaffective.
So specifically, your DSM-5 was schizoaffective. It's in the text, but it was just brought on by extreme stress. And typically, if you have a mother that has those traits,
so I'm very familiar with schizoaffective whatever. So what schizoaffective traits am I at all displaying? Please. And who?
I'm not even having like a thing. Hold on. I'm not even coming at you like that.
I know you're not. I know what's going on. I've been with you for a while.
Wait, what do you think is going on?
Oh Lord. Okay, let me go back.
I'm just saying you have diagnoses that are like,
that are very normal. Okay, yeah, try and play that one in court. Well, you know what? He's now gonna have to learn that the vast majority of America has to make sacrifices.
Yes, he does. If he's because he's with me half the time. So when he's with me, the sacrifices have to be made. When he's with you, he will live a life of luxury. That's literally life.
Well, try not to expose this man to all.
I'm sorry, I can't. I'm trying. How about this? I'm trying my best. How about?
Yeah, but you need to do a better job.
No, I do.
He right now is understanding.
You need to do a better job. You have money. This doesn't make sense. I'm doing the best that I can. Affecting nobody in totality, but okay.
Sure, now let's not come from reality of who these kids have been under.
Who?
You don't even like children. Like,
Nah, I know how you be.
So therefore, that's where we're at. Not me bringing it up.
Okay. So you're gonna get rid of my brother. Got you.
Unless you find a specific solution.
Okay.
My kids at night.
Okay, I'll figure it out.
I need to know ASAP before these kids go anywhere.
How would you like me to know right now? Should I call all the babysitters in Smyrna, or
Are we on the same page when it comes to that?
Sure.
I'm being
Okay, I don't want any problems right now. I literally just trying to pack. Like, I really don't want problems. Okay, so I just said sure. I don't want no problems. That was literally what just came out my mouth. The next day comes, and I'm supposed to come with the movers. They're running a little late, and I still needed to pack. He's still forcing me to pack by myself, and he is still harassing me. At this point, he is being so childish. Like, he is talking about seasonings, and I'm like, you don't even cook. He's like, well, I don't plan on cooking, but someone else will. Just really unnecessary. The things that affect us the most are usually things that we are honestly insecure about. Because of my upbringing, my mom was really just any little minor change with my body, she would pick at and nitpick. And I do have body image issues. So I lost a lot of weight. You know, I had the difficult pregnancy. So, you know, weight gain has been a very difficult thing for me. And now we have the stress, the fact that I'm not eating. And you're making fun of it and you're laughing at that. It clicks something in me. And at that point, I put my gangster on. And that is part 2.
Who do you think you are compared to me? Like, let's get this.
Who do I think you are?
You have a fucking receptionist job and a fucking bottle girl at 28.
Guess what? You know, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna tell you what I am, but I don't have a receptionist job. I can assure you that.
Yeah, well, Nellie, okay.
Okay, that's fine. I don't need to tell you because my point.
He has more fucking. Come on now.
Just keep talking. Keep talking. Like
yeah.
keep talking. I'm already recording. Like, you're just showing your ass. Look, you just sprayed milk on his face, focusing on my ass.
I just literally just bringing it. Like, you keep speaking about anything. Let's be real.
I didn't say anything. All right, can you leave me alone instead of. So then let defects talk to me.
You would rather that.
Yes, I would.
You would rather put yourself.
Kamar, if you haven't noticed that I have absolutely rather speak to government officials than speaking to you. Literally.
So you would rather me go around that route? I'm just asking you. I thought we had
so
the same.
So obviously I don't, Kumar. But
so therefore, I'm trying to find a new.
No. But dealing with you, yes, I rather deal with the government. I rather take my chances with the government. Yes, literally, yes. No, it definitely does. You just.
Nellie, you're literally Nellie. Look at you. You're not like you and your brother are actually. I'm not even being difficult like.
Look at you,
Nellie. I'm trying to talk to you. If you notice I'm just trying to speak to you about shit. I want to speak to you because after this, I gotta do what I gotta do.
Okay, do what you got to do.
I'm just being real with you. You forced my hand.
Okay.
You did.
I said okay. Like, I said okay. The last part of me moving out. What the fuck happened to my... The last part of me moving out. Ooh, things got hectic. So I show up the next day before the movers do. And El Gato says, I'm not paying child support and I'm not paying first month's rent that was court ordered by the TPO. I don't care. It's not a criminal charge. I'll take the civil contempt of court. I spoke to my lawyer, this, that, and the third. Mind you, the GoFundMe that I had made for movers hadn't processed by Monday. So I'm now sitting here not knowing how I'm going to pay the movers, how I'm going to pay the landlord. Am I going to be homeless? What is happening? I am freaking out. And I don't want to cry. Definitely not going to give him the satisfaction. If anything, he was just making me mad. Like, how could you? That is so messed up. Because obviously I emailed my lawyer and now be handled. Like, you can't just go against the law and say that I came here and now that voided the TPO, you know, that it was a trap, you know? So basically, yeah, inviting me was a trap in his head to void the TPO. On top of that, he's taunting me still, like in the previous videos, talking about my weight and how he's not attracted to me and he's just following me around. Everything. He's like the box police. You know what? Bet. I go next to my brother and I whisper to him in Spanish, voy a hacer algo que no te va a gustar. Just chill, sit back, and just shh. And for the first time, I did something by myself, not even with my brother. I thought it out by myself. And I took everything from the first floor. You want to taunt me? You want to not give me the child support? You want to potentially leave me homeless after you just kicked me out? You want to do all these things after everything? Bet. You just want to follow me and taunt me. So I go upstairs, right? And I kiki with him. I laugh. I cry. I let him demean me, degrade me, make all types of comments. And I engage, you know? I get anxious. I even cry. I play all into it. I even get a little funny and go downstairs while they're secretly packing everything that I can prove is mine in the court. The guest room, the living room. I go, I'm like, can you please give me this frame? And he's like, yeah, see, I'm nice. Little do you know. The best part is taking advantage of your flaws. El Gato's not a gentleman, ever. So I'm gonna pack this whole thing by myself while he stares and while he taunts me by myself. So at the very, very last box, he finally decides to help. El Gato goes downstairs. He look, and he's like, what the? Yo, he curses me out. So many idle threats. You don't know who you messing with. Why would you pick a fight with me? Oh, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, oh, you're going to avoid the TPO, right? So then, he grabs my phone from my bag and locks himself in the house. I'm like, ah! And then I'm like, you know what? Calm, cool, collected. We drive about 3-4 minutes, and then we get to a gas station. Boom, I figured it out. I call the police because this is just active theft, right? The other thing is something that is going to be court ordered. You got to go to the judge. We've already gone through this in terms of disputed things. No, that is active theft. I call them, but they're in the middle of a shift change. And when they hear our address, honestly, the tone change, they're over us. I'm sorry, Cobb County. Since they're changing shifts and it's going to be at least 20 minutes, I go back to the house. I'm not really comfortable, but whatever. I come through like that up way of the street through the back. I'm looking around as expected. Front door open. El Gato don't, close doors. Come in real quietly. Boom. Phone is on. Grab it. Too late. Then he goes all the idle threats. Oh, the sheriff is on the way. Because remember, he had said he has a sheriff on speed dial.
I just came from Smyrna Police Department. No, you didn't. They shift change. Ain't nobody coming. So I already know. Calling your bluff, right? He's like, oh, I'm sending them to your house. You want to start your new house like this? Baby, let me teach you something about the law. This is civil. It's Cobb County. I'm moving to a different county. They cannot do nothing to me in another county. There's nothing they can do. And I didn't do anything. So the more I see him just getting upset, the smaller and smaller he looks. So you know what? Earlier, he gave me grief because we have 2 printers in the office, and I'm like, I need one for work, please. And he's like, no, which is just doesn't make sense. My Uber's called. So I go and I grab the printer. He get in my face with the baby. And I just looked him very calmly and I said, do something. I was feeling myself because, you know, it is a process to stand up for yourself in a, you know, in an abusive relationship. But then he sits on the steps all sinister like, oh, you know, you gonna see, love you, see you soon. Ugh. Now, I still got to figure out how I'm going to pay these movers and the landlord. But it's okay. God has provided every step of the way. I was ready to move into an empty home, and look at that. So I just decided to hit up all the most successful people that I know, whether it's been years or not, and borrow the money. And I borrowed enough money to figure it out, but I was $700 short when it came to everything. So I called El Gato, and I'm like, you're not going to use our kids as pawns anymore. What I go through, they're going to go through, because you know they're my weakness, and I don't want to be apart from them. But we're not doing that anymore. I'm holding you accountable. So if you don't give me this $700, me and your kid's gonna be homeless this week. So very reluctantly, with a bunch of back and forth, he finally sends the $700. And here I am. I am right now in my new home. And I am just, So we are now officially in our new home. El Gato tried everything to stop it. But we here, God has provided, got 2 jobs, got my brother, got my family. We are good. I am just so excited for this journey to now go from El Gato to El Glow Up, okay? So we have one more video after this, and then you will not hear about El Gato again. I don't care what he does. And it's just a goodbye, El Gato. And it's just going to be letting go of some of the most hurtful things. And just being uncomfortable in that and letting it go. This is my last video on El Gato. And we are ending it on a closure note. And I'm just going to release some of the most hurtful things that have happened in my relationship. And it's a new house, it's a new beginning, and I'm letting it go. And this is the last, because we're going from El Gato to El Glow Up. So let's start. When I was pregnant with Cairo, he told me that I wouldn't be a good mom because of my traumatic childhood, and I learn everything from movies and books. And then I told him about himself and his family for the first time. And then he grabbed me by my neck, slammed me against the couch, and strangled me until I couldn't breathe. Finally let go, and I went to the bodega and took a picture because he left marks on my neck. I think 4 months pregnant. He admitted that sometimes he wants to kill me. He told me that I'm pathetic because my only accomplishments in life were my kids. He forced me to get an abortion at 12 weeks. I found out I was pregnant at 3 weeks because I had HG. And at that point, I had 6 ER visits, was bedridden because movement would make me throw up, light would make me throw up. And I did that entire 3-month period alone in my room because he slept that night in another room because my throwing up bothered him. And during the day, he was cheating on me with Raven, from memory. Yeah. He told me I was perfect for the image. Pretty, smart, got the kid, and I stayed in line. He liked it, but he hated it because
how easily controllable and manipulated I could be. Disgusted him, actually. He told me he saw me as small, as an object to control, that if he told me the sky was green, I would believe it. And that disgusted him. He ditched me one Valentine's Day to go have sex with another woman. He's admitted to gaslighting me about physical abuse and being fully aware and cognizant of his strength and what he does. He always criticized me in subtle jabs and just in a more mental, psychological warfare type of way, in which he was always insinuating that I was either ghetto or weird or crazy, mentally ill, emotional, pathetic, a bad mom. Those were the typical jabs. He has told me that he is purposely giving me panic and anxiety attacks as revenge for sleeping with other people when we were broken up. He admitted that when things don't go his way, the lies just sort of involuntarily come out his mouth. He just can't help it. In his words, he said he learned that in life, 2 + 2 doesn't have to equal 4, because if you add a random variable, reality can be molded, like a lie, pulling some strings. He observes people, and he has like different profiles in his head, and he pulls them out for different situations. He's told me that, in his words, he knew it was our little secret, everything he was putting me through. He's told me that he, in fact, controls the chaos. I am just in his controlled chaos. He never defended me against his family when they would talk about my mental. He would actually egg them on, and admitted to egging them on, and even admitted to gaslighting me when I would say that they're talking about me, and he'd be like, no, you're crazy. No one cares about you or is talking about you, when in fact, many people were talking about me. His sister, in fact, he confessed to me, read my journal and took pictures. He told me his complex feelings towards me. He typically, most of the time, feels nothing. But he does feel sex thrills, rage, love for his children, and he does love me. But he doesn't see my value in more like an object he loves. He says, he told me that my trauma and depression, when he realized how deep it was, caused him rage, because it allowed for people to see the cracks behind the perfect image. He always tells me that I have no one, no family, everyone is against me, and that they don't really like me. He's told me that I'll end up like my mom. He's told me that I won't survive the real world, as he calls it, without him. Remember in my video when I said he cheated on me with 30 girls? This is true, but I forgot to include that he also accumulated about 15 additional bodies in our 2 breakups, which was a 3-month and a 6-month one, so in a total of 9 months. So in a total of 9 years, he has gained 45 bodies while with me. And I feel free. I could keep going, but those are the ones that just come top of mind. And ironically, my friends tend to remember more than I do, because I have this trauma block thing where I like forget some of the things. That's why if you see me, I continue to look down, because I have this weird anxiety around it, and I'll blank out about the things that El Gato did to me. But it doesn't matter. We're done. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody who has supported me in this process, whether it was financially, spiritually, emotionally, whether it was rides, just a message, a comment.
You are the reason that I finally made it out. Third time's a charm. This is about my third official for real breakup. And I can assure you, I'm done. I'm out. I have no more lists. I have no more stories. More things may happen, but I will not give El Gato that attention anymore. We have been at this since February 2nd. It is now, today, May 7th. February, March, April, May. It's been 4 months. And after 4 months, I stand here with a new house. With 2 jobs, with my brother, family, and my sons are good and I'm good. And I just can't, I gotta thank God and y'all. El Gato got a girl pregnant and she is keeping it. The plot thickens. So in today's exchange of the kids, El Gato tells me, the best part of all of this is honestly the delivery. Because El Gato is like, I need to tell you something because I don't want you thinking that I got Cairo like lying or omitting stuff. But he overheard something and basically he got someone pregnant and he is keeping it. Then I started busting out laughing just because I expected it. I didn't expect it this early at all. Like, we have been broken up from our engagement for like almost 5 months. Like, the second would have made, it makes 5 months, so not even. El Gato goes, oh, I don't know why you're laughing. She got money and she got W-2s. This is actually something good. It's a fresh start. If that's your definition of a fresh start, like, no problem. I don't care. I hope it's a girl, because if it's a boy, then she's gonna have to sit here like me wondering if the baby's gonna get the balding genes. Like, he's literally laughing and he's like, you know, I just don't be pulling out, ha ha ha. We live in Atlanta, the city with the highest percentage rate for you to get an STD. Ew, like, ew, that's disgusting. Like, literally not a flex. In my head, I'm like, you know what? Why don't you do something different, right? A bunch of men, you know, get a bunch of women pregnant and just dropping their seeds everywhere. I challenge you to do something different. Why don't you go to therapy? I don't know. Now you must be wondering, who is it? Who is it? So, of course, El Gato likes to tell me about his love life to make me jealous, as if I care. So, here are the options. We have Kiki. That's her nickname. That's the Takaya girl that we were introduced to earlier. I'm told by him that she's now bottom of the roster. I'm not really sure why. Then we have Dr. Bay, which he has told me he likes because he can have sex with her without condoms because she's a prude. So there's pros and cons because he's going to have to teach her. But at least, you know, she's not a hoe. And she got money because she's a doctor and she's 33. And yeah, I think she's top in the running. And then he has a third girl, this stripper that we were going to do something with when we were together. And he tries to use her to make me jealous. I believe she was the last one he used to try and make me jealous earlier this week. When I went to go grab some stuff, he's like, hurry, hurry, hurry. She's on the way. Honey, you can't make me jealous with like a stripper sex worker who literally wants to be with you for only the money. Like, God bless. Also, fun fact, the girl he was trying to make me jealous with, the stripper, I really like her. Like, I fuck with her regular. And she had hit me up on my story and called him ugly and said that I was the prize. So either you're lying, which is so embarrassing, or you're not lying, which is still so embarrassing. So yeah, these are the 3 options, and based off of his description of this girl has money and W-2s,
One is unemployed and the other one's job does not give them W-2s. So I'm going to go with Dr. Bay. Dr. Bay is the chosen one. God bless her spirit, deeply. God bless her spirit. But then there's also the option that he's just simply lying because he was mad because there was a dude on my live yesterday, and he is the type of dude to do that. So we'll see. But he's also the type of dude to impregnate someone because he doesn't believe in condoms. So the plot thickens. Dun, 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 dun. But just to end this on some serious stuff, we're laughing now, but it does suck to be baby mama number one because I didn't sign up for this buffoonery. And now my son is going to literally have to repeat your generational trauma of just having half siblings scattered around the country, like the world. Like, that's just not what I wanted for my child. But I am starting to learn and accept the fact that the mistakes you make are only a reflection of you, not a reflection of me when it comes to our kids. So, whatever. I mean, you're the one who's going to have to explain to them why they have 50 billion siblings. I'm not tripping. I'm not going to be like your mom and say that the siblings practice voodoo and this, that, and the third. No, I want my kids to be tight with their siblings. So, yeah, that's that.
So in today's Chronicles, my brand new car, well, it's not brand new, it's used, but the catalyst converter or whatever, in short, car died and I had to pay $440. And I now have $0 to my name. Something in my spirit told me to give my landlord everything that I had. Well, you know, feasible. So I gave him $1,700. So I'm $1,000 short because I was supposed to split rent with someone and that didn't pan out. So now I signed a lease of 18 months for a $2,700 place. I have $0 to my name. I still have to come up with $1,000. I have to just give this man $440. Still haven't gone to work today. Outfit of the fucking day. And now I'm crying because I'm hungry and I'm tired of being hungry. And my baby daddy keeps making fun of all the weight that I've lost, even though I'm poor and he makes $30,000 to $100,000 a month. And then he saw the car thing, and of course, psychological warfare, he made sure to say, "Good morning. I hope you're having a good morning." And I had to contact him today because me and the sitter were talking, and my 9-month-old looks like an unkept homeless child because he keeps taking all the fucking clothes from us. So yeah, I had to ask him for money because I can't keep doing this to my 9-month-old. So let's see if he sends that. And you know, he has time though to bother me because he hit me up the other day, did math on my job. He must have Googled how much a paralegal makes, how much a bottle girl makes, did the math of all my expenses, potential expenses, and then told me that I wasn't gonna make it. Good luck. I'm fucking hungry. And EBT, I've gone over and over. They won't approve me. All I have is WIC. And I'm gonna keep praying and smiling through it because God is good. But Lord Jesus Christ. Let's also not forget that the spark plug thing broke in the thing, and I'm also basically out of oil. It's black. So I have to pay for oil, and I have to tow it because it's gonna break the motor. And I just told you guys I'm at $0. So now we're borrowing money. And then on top of that, yesterday and today, I have to finish talking to DFAX, which is our version of CPS, because my baby daddy called them on me because I had sex with a man at my house this weekend, which has nothing to do with children because they weren't there. But it's okay. That part at least is solved because the CPS DFAX lady basically, because I don't talk about him to them because that's a dangerous game. They said that he is emotionally defunct, and they don't know if he still wants to be with me, but his actions are clearly showing that he still wants to be with me. Because he has money. We both want joint custody, so we can literally just go to the court, end this right now, do some child, like, you want to be with me. Like, who blows up the counselor who has nothing to do with custody? Or like, they CPS, DFACS is looking at you like, but yeah, you know, this is my life. So back to my previous post, do you want a deadbeat or do you want this? I'm definitely going for deadbeat. Because I have to deal with this today, right? Which I would have dealt with the deadbeat anyways. But then I also add to the stress of CPS and DFACS. Y'all ever met people that are just so exhausting? After you talk to them, you just have to like lay down somewhere and just disassociate. It's like when they speak to you, it's just your breath, your breathing on this planet just emits too much CO2 and it's just overbearing me. It is just, I can't breathe. I need you away from me. Just, That's how I feel about my baby daddy. I don't know how a person could manage to make a 2-minute interaction overbearing. It's a true talent. It's a talent. Apparently, you know, I went to happy hour yesterday for an hour and I could have saved a life in that hour, you know. I could have changed the world. I could have probably got my PhD because apparently that hour that I went to happy hour with a man is the reason I wasn't on my shit today. That 1 hour. So let this be a lesson to you guys. Don't spend that hour at happy hour. Go get your PhD. Go make sure that your children know their ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, all in that hour. Because who are you to go to happy hour for an hour? You could be so productive. Co-parenting with a narcissist, the pettiness of men. This is a safe place to share your story because I'm about to share mine. It's my son's 5th birthday. I think that's a big deal. We've broken up and, you know, he got the funds, right? So I let him have our son for today because he can provide a better birthday. However, yesterday I broke down in my workout because I'm big on birthdays. So the idea of not even seeing my son for his birthday just kills me. So I told him crystal clear, and I know he heard me because it was on the call that I have with my son, that I'm gonna grab him from Chuck E. Cheese. I also told grab him and take him to Chuck E. Cheese just for an hour so I don't impose on his plans. Told this to the assistant as well. I go to tell the assistant I'm on the way because I just see an odd email listing at 4:30 the schedule that he has for his son at 4:30, which is when I'm supposed to be picking him up. So I text her like, I'm on the way, right? Almost there, 4:40. He's already picked up. If you know, you know. Me and my baby daddy, Kamar, we have very bad time management skills. So me more than him, but whatever. You only be on time to things to spite me. So you went and picked him up to spite me. Not a problem. You know what? Why don't we just be mature and join forces? Cool. I'm happy now because I can't wait to see my son and I get to really spend time with him. That was at 5. But at 5, I see that he sent the campaign. His assistant then tells me, oh, my 5-year-old wanted to go back home to open his gifts instead of going here first. He just sent the campaign, and he sent the campaign before he left. What it means was that he had to work, and to spite me, he picked him up, interrupted his work to take him back home. And now, here we are, right? The place is gonna close in about 50 minutes, and it's a phenomenal place. So you shorted my son on his birthday to spite me. That's what just happened here. The pettiness of men. You shorted my son to spite me. You've wasted my time because I left work early for this at 4:30, and I am sitting here now at like 7, right? We changed the place. We changed the place so that our son would have more than an hour at a play center. And I thought that was a great, responsible, mature idea. Yet here we are, and my son, fucking hour, now he has 50 minutes. Actually, he doesn't have 50 minutes because they're still not here. 4:30 to 5:30 to 6:30. Wait, 4:30 to 5:30, 6:30, right? About to be damn near 7:30.
You wasted 3 hours of my time. You wasted 3 hours of my son's time to spite me. And then you wonder why I call you a shitty dad. So yeah, safe place. Share your stories.
Vlogging my court experience. So here we are today, and I did an order on May 8th because he violated the protective consent order. And then of course on May 9th, he did one against me, except in the entire order, there's just only one provision. It applies to both of us. No, two. But irregardless, he'll learn the law. So I'm so proud of myself. I feel like the first time I stepped in this building and looked in this mirror, I had a black eye. I was just so over the world, didn't know what I was gonna do. I was scared. Everyone, it felt like God was talking through them, like, you'll be okay. That's like, you know, I wear my emotions on my sleeve. So I felt horrible. So that was probably like, I don't know, March 10th or something like that. And came again April 10th, right? And that's when we had the TPO hearing. And he just kept doing all these little tricks. Remember, the enemy's tricks, but it low-key be the same ones. And I was shook. I was crying. I remember like venting to my friend, who's not my friend no more. I know I keep saying the story time. I promise y'all, it's coming. I felt horrible. Felt great at the end because everything panned out. But now here we are, June 20th. So let's do the dates. March 10th, April 9th, June 20th. Not only am I looking better, right? And y'all already know I ain't even looking my best. The next time we come, it's just gonna get better and better. It's because it's crazy because I'm really looking in the same mirror. And let this just be a testament that time does heal. I mean, more than time. You need a few other things like therapy and intentional, actions. But time, here we are. The difference, March to June. What, that's 3 months and a week later. Not an inch of me is scared. Can he trigger me? Yes, I ain't perfect. But the stupid shit can't trigger me no more. It's gotta be like more deeper triggers.
It's all about the symbolism for me. So when he brought the sitter and threw me off and I was all in my emotions, this is the mediation room that I was in to calm my nerves. That I was venting to my friend about how I felt, this lack of control and stuff, in which she then proceeded to use against me in an argument, but whatever. This is the room. And right now, what I'm about to do is organize my files. But again, I'm a very full circle symbolic type of person. So this is, I got it because of the ADHD and all these other things, the overstimulation. I am learning to work with myself. So when I am for real serious, I have to actually make sort of a thought itinerary. You see how I lose myself in my train of thoughts? A thought itinerary. And this is thought itinerary 1. I have a second level one. This is professional, and then one that has deeper thoughts. If I want add-ons, it was just me typing my thoughts. Financial ability right here. Provision 15, so we have provision 15 violation, provision 4 violation, and provision 15 violations. Oh, this is all financial ability. So I mislabeled a few, but that's fine because I memorized all the provisions that were violated and the relative dates, so I don't have to run through this sea of things. Quick pause. As I'm uploading this video, I cannot misguide you guys. I did make a mistake that if I would have had a lawyer, wouldn't have. While it's good to have all this information, this is a protective order, which means that these cases are supposed to be in and out fast. So, did the right thing. I didn't condense the story. That was my problem. All this shit should have been for the custody thing. I needed to condense it. Back to schedule programming. Definitely going to be requesting the files from the counseling thing from the defects lady, just to prove, because he really tried to say that this was a deal between, this is what I literally wrote, but it's okay. She saw through the bullshit. She was like, what the fuck? But still, and then of course he's lying, right? And I don't know, but he told me that the sitter, well, he told the court that the sitter's reporting me to defects because I threatened to unalive myself if she doesn't pick up them kids right now, which is crazy. Which just reminded me, I need to look up, is there something for blatant perjury? Because that's just crazy. Like, y'all just let people perjure like that? Like, just say whatever you want. Like, he did that last time. I'm like, so what's the point of me doing this? Like, is there an actual point? Like, is there a point? I requested the modification earlier today that I just put in, so we have to wait for another hearing. I requested not only a psychiatric evaluation for myself, since you just keep accusing me of these things, let's get it out the way, but also for him because there's actually something wrong with him. But again, that sermon that said the devil uses the same tricks. Did he use a new trick today, Nellie? No. Did you know he was only going to get a pat on the wrist because that's literally how the legal system treats these things and men with child support? Yes. All you wanted was for it to be on paper that he was against it, right? And just to add up a file. You knew that it wasn't. You already had this conversation, so that's fine. The only thing that I am disappointed about is not being able to show willful contempt. However, I always have to do like one thing to help me feel better. I'm not a saint, okay? Because the sitter shit pissed me all the way off. I don't even know if he's lying or not, but I'm so sick of being in that predicament, and I'm literally being forced. Like, I am being forced to give my kids up, and now he like tried to switch it again. The enemy, however, only because this one is easy. Like the whole fraud thing I gave, I don't have the time, but I am gonna report him and his sister to the IRS because that's honestly just like really simple. And it'll make me feel better. So, okay, so I can't call them, but there's the form 3949 that I'm about to fill out and send for both of the asses. It just, like I said, it makes me feel better. It's not like anything happened to me today. Nothing happened. I just, protective orders, I have learned through, you know, legal counsel and just advice of others are Band-Aids, right? Like, when I say this journey finna be 2 years, the journey finna be 2 years. Like, is he supposed to pay child support? Yes. Did they tell him you still have to pay child support and what's court order? Yes. But that's it. That's just like a slap on the wrist. So I already knew that, right? I gotta return a lamp out of all his violations. That's it. So yeah, I have to return a lamp and he has to pay child support. Yeah, in order to do either or, right? Or to talk about either, we would both have to file a motion again for the fucking lamp or for the fucking for the shit. I'm not gonna share this tea just yet, just how I kept this hearing quiet and now giving out a tea. There is some tea coming July 2nd that is going to change the game. Thank God, because it came in the perfect day. Like, because there were so many like, I hate this stuckness. And this thing I've been waiting on, if I could, this came through. If I could solve one more thing, I promise you, we're so good. Reasons my baby daddy won't leave me alone, according to my baby daddy. 1, I am a danger to the children because I am just not mentally well. Specifically, I have been told that I have schizoaffective traits, which just basically means you make shit up, like you have you make stuff up because I said the relationship was abusive. I am also a danger right now because apparently, this is news to me, but I actually want to unalive myself right now. And I threatened the sitter that if she didn't come right now, I was gonna off myself. I am using my children as pawns for money. I don't know if you guys have been checking in, you know, all the luxury goods I've been purchasing, you know, all the food I've been eating. Yep. See, this is regular. So yeah,
You'd think if I'm using them for pawns, I'd at least make sure I have food. You know, I'm a bad mom, of course. He broke up with me because I was an endangerment to the kids. And this is all my revenge. Yeah, that already in the court. I have no idea. You know, like when narcissists lie lies that make you feel like you live in different universes? Like, I feel like I'm in the multiverse here. Like, did you not think that I would have text messages of you like, you've blindsided me, and well, at least this breakup I'm not doing this, that, and the third, which is just a long list of abusive things he's done in the past. Another reason he won't leave me alone is because he wants to help, you know? But I'm making it so difficult by trying to coerce me to have conversations with him. So at this point, if you're gonna trigger me, let's monetize on it, okay? I think the timing is perfect. So today is the 21st, which is a 5-day countdown for our wedding, which is hilarious because the makeup artist like hit me up yesterday, and today I'm like, I never canceled. I feel bad. So yeah, he wanted the attention. He is about to get it, just not necessarily in the way that he wants it. You guys have asked me a lot of questions about him that I didn't answer out of just sheer respect. Don't ask me why I even still... I'm gonna answer all of your questions about him because the only thing legally I can't do is just mention his name. El gato. That I can say. So, what does El gato do for what? All of it, right? And that'll be our 5-day countdown till the wedding that never was. Sunday reset, and honestly, a cry for help. I've been hesitant to make this video and make this GoFundMe, but honestly, after some recent events, I realized I have no other choice. For those who know, I had a court hearing without legal representation regarding contempt of the protective order that I have against El Gato. And it was a stark, harsh reminder of the lengths he will go to try and hurt me. So on August 14th, I honestly faced one of the scariest things that I've had to face, a custody battle. And for those who follow my story or just know me personally, they know that there is nothing more important to me than being a good mother, especially considering my difficult, traumatic childhood. And since ending my engagement with El Gato, he has relentlessly tried to push me into a negative mental state, trying his vicious smear campaign against the courts, DFACS, which is Georgia's CPS. And as many as you know, he is the CEO of B.A.N.K, and he earns between $30,000 to $100,000 a month. Why am I saying that? Because he has made it super clear that he will spare no expense to strip me of custody of our children. He wants full custody. He is claiming the craziest things, y'all. If you saw my last video, yeah, I was kikiing about the whole thing of all the things he's saying to take my kids away, but it's not funny. I mean, I'm trying to make light of it, but on some real shit, it's terrifying. All the things he has done, the lengths. This man has tried to get me arrested like 6 times. Has failed each time. Grand larceny, blackmail, this, that, and the third. Right now, he's trying to get me arrested over a lamp. It's because he knows, one, obviously having something on your record would affect a custody battle, but also I have decided now that I'm a paralegal, maybe I'll go back to law school. And yeah, you can't have no record, you know, for the bar. So FYI, I am not going for full custody. I'm committed to prioritizing my children's well-being above all else. So despite, you know, El Gato's shortcomings, you know, my kid almost got expelled, all these other things that he's literally not taking care of financially, I've endured so many personal sacrifices trying to support their relationship with him despite the toll that it takes on my mental health. And yet I will not be seeking full custody, just joint. I have what's in the best interest of my children. But this is a cry for help because I'm on the brink of losing everything that I fought so hard for. And y'all know I have no issue with vulnerability and honesty. I am scared and I am tired. And I don't even, at this point, fuck the child support.
My plea is to support against the threats of losing custody of my children. So in short, I urgently need funds for legal fees to fight for my children. My sole desire is just the right to continue to be present, loving, and the nurturing mother I have always been. And, due to the previously mentioned complexities of this case, honestly, I'm just imploring y'all, just from one human to another, just don't let him use his financial advantage and legal team to take my children away out of just pure spite. I made the difficult decision to leave an unhealthy relationship to improve my life, strengthen my bond with God, and most importantly, shield my children from the emotional and psychological harm of watching a physical and toxic relationship between your parents. And now I'm just being unfairly targeted by him for daring to leave. Who do I think I am, Honestly, y'all, if every one of you guys donated even just $1, I could literally cover the legal fees necessary to fight for my children's future. All I want is stability and normalcy for my children. I don't think anything from him that comes from strings attached. If money were my priority, I literally would have just stayed in a toxic relationship, married him, which was supposed to be June 26, secured alimony and other benefits, but I didn't because I'm an honest person. And once I felt I needed to get out, I got out, irregardless of the repercussions. I knew he was a narcissist. I knew he was going to put me through some of these things. I didn't know how far this man was going to go to tear basically the family apart. I'm not doing well. Is that what he wants me to say? Yeah, that doesn't make me unfit. If you look at my other video with the workout thing, I'll show you guys my ribs. I am not well, but it's not because of me. It's because of him. And I'm pretty more solid mentally than most of the people I meet out here. A lot of guys kooky. So yeah, your support would honestly mean the world to me in this darkest hour, because I can't bear the thought of him winning and seeing my children suffer any more than they already have. I have ample amount of evidence as to why I'm just simply the more responsible one and I should be in their lives. I'm their mother. That's it. And there's so many of us online here going through the same shit. Let's not let these narcissistic baby daddies win. Potential eviction, potential power outage, potential having no lawyer while my baby daddy is threatening to take away my kids. I had a breakdown this morning, an absolute breakdown. But my daily devotional and my sermon hit just right. I heard exactly what I needed to hear. So let's keep you guys up to speed. If you're new here, I left an abusive narc relationship February 2nd, and it has been a 6-month struggle. If anyone who's left an abusive relationship knows, leaving it, honestly, at times can be harder than actually fucking being in it. So here's some context for those who don't know. My baby daddy is rich, $30,000 to $100,000 a month. That is the lifestyle that I was under. That is the lifestyle that I had prior to this. The black eye in front of my kids is what broke the camel's back though, for real. I got my protective order on April 9th. The court ordered him to pay me $2,700 in child support, and instead of staying at the house until I got my shit together, I requested to be reallocated because he kept emailing the landlord because my brother smokes cigarettes, or emailing the landlord because apparently on the lease it says that if you have a guest over 7 days, you need to let the landlord know, playing with the rent. In short, trying to get me kicked out of there. So I was granted reallocation. Fuck granted, he consented to reallocation. He consented. We agreed to what the amount was. I was a stay-at-home mom, but I did not save, and I take accountability for that. That's my mistake. I literally left worse than zero. I was left in negatives because my credit score that was in the 700s is now at 591 because a business bill of his was sent to collections on my name and he refused to pay it. I was able to pay that one off. Another bill got sent to collections, right? And I believe a third thing got sent to collections. Again, these were all joint things. Actually, like I said, the business bill wasn't even a joint thing. That was his business bill. So in the last few years, everything got put on my name. So then here brings the other issue of where the power comes into play. The last 2 bills are on my name.
there's only one Georgia Power. So it transferred over, and the court did order him to take my name off of everything and pay it off. He did all that except for Georgia Power, which was 700 something. And I did a payment plan and I pushed it as much as I can, but by the 5th, I'm done. I've done all the payment plans I can do. If I can't give them the 700 something by the 5th, the power is gonna be out. I bought a lemon by accident, which just means a car that was fucked up to begin with. A week and a half, the motor went out. So I have no car. So I've been Ubering to work. I couldn't bring my kids to their activities last week because I just can't afford it. And now the lawyer fees. My baby daddy wants full custody and says that he will not spare any expense to keep the kids away from me because I am unfit and mentally insane. An unfit, mentally insane person would have not been able to accomplish everything that I have accomplished. However, in the spirit of, continuing the verbal abuse and trying to make me live under his shadow, he constantly insults me and undermines what I'm doing. Right now, I think the last thing he said to me was A for effort, and that for the past couple months, I'm just like a 19-year-old who constantly makes mistakes and wants to save the day. No, I want you to be a man. I don't want to live off you. I literally just want you to do what's court ordered, which is the child support. And the thing is, now he's delaying these things because this would have been the last month he would have had to help me for rent. And that would have meant the world because I could have saved, I could have done other things. Instead of sitting here trying to finesse things, working at the club, selling things, doing a bunch of stuff to make ends meet. But I've now hit a wall. I have $6,500 that I gotta pay these lawyers still. I only was able to pay them $1,000 with the GoFundMe. $2,700 in rent. $2,500 to fix the motor because my car fucked up. Then let's say another $400 to $800 to get it fixed. This phone keeps shutting on and off, and 50% of my job requires a fucking phone. On top of just regular bills and transportation in the meantime. I'm drowning. I get paid on Wednesday about $1,700 and I have $600 to my name. That's $2,300 to cover everything I just said. Everything. So that's part one, just sort of explaining the finances and why I'm in this predicament. I put my faith in someone I shouldn't put faith in. I had no idea that the court system, took forever to actually make men do what they have to do. File a motion for contempt and file a motion for compliance. Like, Jesus Christ. And I've made things shake, and that will be part two. Everything that I've done. Because one thing is, I would never have the balls to sit here and ask y'all for help, and I'm twiddling my thumbs. Never has been me, never will be me. So let's get to part two. I have to take a crying intermission because I didn't feel like doing it right now on video. But part two about everything I've done. I had a son, and that's sort of what triggered me to cry because it sort of reminded me of when I met him. And it reminded me that he showed up like my knight in shining armor, and he was supposed to save me from like my very messed up childhood, from everything, and he ended up being worse than what I was running from. And it's just like, in this journey, as I get closer to God, everything that's ever saved me has been only me. Always. Childhood, now. And I put my faith on earthly beings instead of myself and God. And it has bit me in the ass tremendously. I got myself out of my situation growing up, and I'm getting myself out of it now. And I have finally learned that the very hard way, that no one's gonna save me but me. So what have I done to save me? In the storm, I had the balls to do a protective order to try and secure the child support. I made a resume and I paid a person on Fiverr to go through it.
I connected with people on here who worked in HR and ran it through everybody and pulled all-nighters and literally would apply to like 20 to 40 places a day type shit. And after 2 months, I secured a salaried job with benefits as a paralegal at a good corporate firm. Whenever my kids have been with me up until recently, I made sure everything was consistent despite all odds. Swim, karate, school stuff. I secured a place with a backyard for my son in a family-oriented community that had a playground. I worked at the club. And I mean, I worked at the club for a month, but after 2 weeks of doing both the paralegal and the club, you know, that just ended me with a fever and like heat flashes and a bunch of things, because I'm sensitive when it comes to my physical health. I have to take care of it. I finally found what I think would be a good second job, which is data annotation. I did the assessment and I applied. I did a bunch of research on random weird jobs. I put myself out here and asked for help. I had the courage to put myself out here and ask for help. I asked random people I'm not even close with for money. I don't really have family, so that's sort of dead. I've spent countless nights researching the law and a bunch of things to prepare myself. And I represented myself at the motion for contempt. And I forgot to say this in the video, I applied for legal aid and I had them for the TPO, the protective order, but I don't qualify for the child support and custody case. I show up to work every day and I give it my all, and my all is pretty fucking great. I don't let my personal affect my work life. I try to go above and beyond, if anything. I've sold most of my purses and stuff. I've collected a few clothes and I'm waiting for a ride to sell that to Plato's Closet. I did a bunch of research on the game and survey app thing, but my time is limited between my kids fucking re-energizing and just, I don't really have a lot of time. Time is money. But I found a better alternative, focus group apps, and I saved a few. And those seem to me more bang for my buck. I even tried the whole finessing men thing, but that didn't really pan out for me. I think it's like my childhood trauma. It's like blocking me from being able to do that. I sold some stuff on Facebook Marketplace, like just regular things. Like my baby Brezza, someone's supposed to pick up today. Forgot to include that I also got WIC and food stamps, which is a godsend. And I also sent a letter to my church asking for some funds. I fought for my kid to be in therapy so that we don't repeat generational traumas, and finally got it this month. Me and my kid, I'm gonna start putting him on here. We've done so much. And the therapist says he is one of the most emotionally intelligent kids, she's seen, and like he is just so kind and pure. And that's attributed to me. I'm breaking a generational curse on both ends, and I'm not gonna stop. I've done all of this despite the constant attempts to get me arrested, the constant insults, and just constant a bunch of stuff. I don't really know what giving up means, and I don't plan on starting to fucking figure that out now. I don't. This is gonna be a really vulnerable week in a lot of ways. I'm gonna be actually uploading a lot. Y'all finna get to know me a lot this week. The point of this video is to tell you everything that I have done up until this point. and that I'm not a quitter. And yeah, my GoFundMe, which is solely going to be for legal fees because everyone fucking struggles. So I wouldn't have the fucking audacity to sit here and ask you guys to help me with a GoFundMe for things that regular people struggle with every fucking day. And I mean, people struggle with the legal fees too, but I will say that my life's greatest motivation from the beginning of time, given my childhood, has always been to break the generational curse and be the greatest mother I can be. And if I get my kids taken away off of sheer bitterness, that would be quite a fucking blow. And that's the understatement of the century. Part 3, we've given a little context and as to why I'm in such a shit financial predicament. And we also spoke about what I've done through all this crazy work. Now it's time to talk about what my baby daddy has done. So these are how the finances have gone with my baby daddy. He paid the deposit to get into this place. And then through multiple threats and just trying to get the money broken down bit by bit, I got the rest of the payments for the month of May. I got $0 on anything in the month of June. His excuse is that he had the kids. Why did he have the kids? Because I gave him the kids because I literally was in a financial disarray. I did not want to put the kids through that, and it was taking an emotional toll on me, and I always make the best decision for my kids, or I could have done the whole bitter baby mom thing and kept them, but I'm not doing that. The month of July, the last month he's supposed to pay for the help with the reallocation and obviously child support. I've received $750. In a typical world, that would have been great, except for the fact that need to remind you guys that I was left in negatives, not even starting from zero. I was left in negatives with bills that were joint of the house and in his business shit. Negatives. So building up from that with no car, so having the Uber and stuff like that, and a rent that I literally can't afford because I wouldn't have signed up for this by myself. Now this is my biggest regret and mistake in this process, honestly, is this damn house. I had 3 weeks to get out of there. Really, he wanted 2, but I was like 3. The judge gave me 3 weeks to get out of there. And I ain't know shit about housing. I'm from Section 8, been in the same apartment since the womb, and then just only knew bougie apartment stuff. Honestly, an embarrassing secret, I didn't even know that $2,600 was a lot, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Do I know that now? Wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. At that time, I hadn't even secured a job yet, so I knew that whatever I was gonna get wasn't going to be able to afford this place. But if you agree and consent, and we do it in front of 2 lawyers and in front of the judge, $2,500 budget, and we sign, in front of a law clerk, and there's all these things, bless my heart. At the time, I was just naive and thought that that was enough. But no, I'm now learning through TikTok and expanding my network of people that I know that this battle actually can take up to 2 years. And I can't now afford to obviously break the fucking lease. So I am stuck like fuck. It's like a crash course on life during a storm with no guidance. No guidance. Because remember, guys, I don't have family here. This is literally my first time doing quite a few things. Because it's been a 10-year relationship and I'm only 28. In terms of the kids' expenses, which is why when we get to the court, I'll be asking for that to be added onto the child support because I have too much proof that he just can't pay that shit on time. Cairo almost got kicked out of school in April because he was behind. The school had to make a general message that I really knew was about us, about on-time payments. because he kept paying them late over and over again. Swim class, Cairo's favorite activity, was not paid since March. Who paid it in March? I did. It just got paid last week. He had to pay like $1,000 in one go. His new school, I was under the impression that it actually was up to date, but in a point that he had to prove of saying he spent $5,000 on the kids this month and I expect him to give me money, he shows me a screenshot of him paying the deposit for the new school this month, but it was due 2 months ago. So you had to pay $1,000 in the swim school because you were 4 months behind and 2 months behind on other thing. That's why you paid so much this month. So you had no kids cost the other months. Karate was not paid for 2 months. He did not start paying karate again until May. In July, he started messing with the payments again. He did not pay for karate until yesterday, actually. However, costs that he is willing to spend. We had a sitter for $4,000. I suggested we go with a daycare, which is much cheaper and they're certified, all these things. He said no. Why did he say no? Because he knew my connection with the sitter and whatnot, and after he brought her to the hearing, things got a little iffy and I was uncomfortable, and he was willing to pay $4,000 to just simply make me uncomfortable. I offered to help with the payments since clearly being on time was eating him up. Like, my poor car that was on his name got repossessed because his ass literally forgot to do the whole payment stuff. And how do you make the same mistake 2 years ago we broke up, your car got repossessed again? Bills have to get paid. If they don't get paid by me, so he hired an assistant. Knowing him, his typical go-to is giving somebody $1,000 a week. So now we're talking about $8,000 a month for 2 people to do a job inefficiently that I could do it. Why am I saying inefficiently? Because up until yesterday and this month, things were still behind. The children looked like bums. Even his favorite old sitter said it, where the kids' clothes? The few times that I went into the household, I saw the answer in big garbage bags, because laundry clearly seems to be something very difficult for him, even though he gets someone to wash it. But even that, it's still very difficult. So the children don't really have clothes like that. Cairo did not start therapy until this month. He saw his dad punch his mom in the face in March. I've been asking for therapy for our child since then. Finally got that done. The thing is, he chooses how much he works. He worked hard enough in his early 20s to give himself that luxury. So now he's saying he's only making $15K. Yeah, that's because you don't want to work more. I already know the pattern. Our son has no savings because of how you spiraled in the last breakup. And it appears you are spiraling again. Prioritizing females over your children. Now, he would disagree with me and saying that if the kids were in his custody 100% of the time, they would be fine. They would be fine financially, but behaviorally, emotionally, and all these other things, that's me. That is me. Structure, discipline, academics, basically everything that's not monetary is me. Proof is in the pudding. You have a cleaner. You take your clothes to the laundromat. 2 babysitters. An assistant. All to do my job because, as you said, no money will go through my hands. He thinks that this is okay behavior. Unfortunately for me, I chose a partner who has no issue with repeating generational traumas, right? We come from the hood. Why repeat the ain't shitness of men and showing that, you know? You yourself have told me that you're not happy with the way your dad treats your mom. And here you go, repeating the same mistake. You yourself have told me that irregardless of all the great things your mom has done for that family, your dad has explicitly said that he will give her nothing and leave her nothing on her name if they divorce because of this irrational narcissistic fear that some man she just spoke to, you know, after he had 2 kids on her, she's gonna, you know, take everything and like go with him. You know how narcissists are just like extremely erratic in their accusations. I don't know. It was some bullshit like that, he told me. You are repeating generational traumas. I won't do it. He's all caught up now. He's gonna scream that to the world. So, oh Lord, he is all caught up now. So my baby daddy took the kids away legally. My baby daddy wants me to pay child support to him, and he's gonna chase me down for it. My baby daddy tried to get me jumped. My baby daddy apparently got somebody role-playing, trying to role-play me. And so much has happened since. And my poor son is struggling in his transition, and he says that he hates being Black. And so much more. So this is gonna be a multiple part series, but I just thought those were the highlights that first came to mind. I wish my life was normal. Like, nothing happens normally. It's not like my baby daddy came with a fancy lawyer or anything like that. No, it's how trash my lawyer was. So how did I lose? So I made a Google Drive and I organized every piece of evidence, from the financial to the abuse, both physical and emotional. And I just organized so much. Then also how he's a shitty dad. I had all these different examples. Cool. So he was supposed to be prepping me beforehand. And the entire time that he could have been talking to me, prepping me, he was kikiing and laughing with my baby daddy about his career. That's unprofessional, unethical, and again, basis for a bar complaint as a victim of domestic violence, and it's actually on paper. 30 seconds before we get called to go inside, this lawyer goes, you know, things end like that sometimes. Hopefully the relationship was good. Can y'all envision like my panic when that man said that? Like, what do you mean? Like, I gave you a bunch of I'm like, it was an abusive relationship. She's like, I didn't know that. Fuck you mean you didn't know that? Fast forward to the trial itself. As you can imagine, none of my evidence was submitted. 75% of the trial was about my baby daddy's career, which I had given him enough financial proof. He didn't need to dwell on it that much. And I knew I was fucked when he was like, this isn't about child custody, it's about child support. Even the judge looked at him. And honestly, I could not control my body language. I'm definitely the type of person that if I stay quiet, my body does it, and it's just like. So you know how a lawyer's supposed to prep you, right? No idea his line of questioning. No idea. So when he asked me questions like, is he a good dad? Baby, I'm autistic. I cannot do this shit on the spot. I'm going to tell you the truth. And no, I can't read the room. I'm not a read the room type of bitch. That's ableism. Like, come on, bitch. How was I supposed to know I was supposed to say he's a good dad? I don't know the game plan. I just know the truth. Then I can't even speak. And he also doesn't counter any of the things that my baby daddy says, even though I write in the notes to him. For example, the judge asked valid questions and I see how I looked given the lack of information. So it made me look money hungry. Little does she know that I was literally left in negatives. And how was I going to pay it? I had to do a lot of things. I've been selling goods, all these things, and I have a rent that I can't afford. I have medical bills from Cade's pregnancy that this man won't even pay for. So he did not bring up anything pertinent that I literally had proof of. Like, I literally have proof that this man is an ecstasy addict. Like, nothing. The conditions of nothing. Okay, fast forward. Why do the kids get taken away? 3 factors according to the judge. 1, distance. I am far from Cairo's school, even though I work 5 minutes the street away from his school, but whatever. My transportation issues. At that moment, my car wasn't fixed. It's fixed now, y'all. And then this one is gonna be my favorite one, just because it's so ironic. But again, she didn't have the information. She believed that he would foster a better relationship. She admitted she didn't have much to lean on and this was a difficult choice. However, based off of my tone, my matter-of-fact tone, and the fact that I couldn't even bring myself to say that he was a good parent, even though my lawyer was probing me. So yeah, that happened. Now this is what happened at the hearing. Now tune in for part 2 about the aftermath. So my baby daddy took the kids away legally. My baby daddy wants me to pay child support to him, and he's gonna chase me down for it. My baby daddy tried to get me jumped. My baby daddy apparently got somebody role-playing, trying to role-play me. And so much has happened since. And my poor son is struggling in his transition, and he says that he hates being Black. And so much more. So this is going to be a multiple part series, but I just thought those were the highlights that first came to mind. I wish my life was normal. Like, nothing happens normally. It's not like my baby daddy came with a fancy lawyer or anything like that. No, it's how trash my lawyer was. So how did I lose? So I made a Google Drive and I organized every piece of evidence, from the financial to the abuse, both physical and emotional. And I just organized so much. Then also how he's a shitty dad. I had all these different examples. Cool. So he was supposed to be prepping me beforehand. And the entire time that he could have been talking to me, prepping me, he was kikiing and laughing with my baby daddy about his career. That's unprofessional, unethical, and again, basis for a bar complaint as a victim of domestic violence, and it's actually on paper. 30 seconds before we get called to go inside, this lawyer goes, you know, things end like that sometimes. Hopefully the relationship was good. Can y'all envision, like, my panic when that man said that? Like, what do you mean? Like, I gave you a bunch of I'm like, it was an abusive relationship. She's like, I didn't know that. Fuck you mean you didn't know that? Fast forward to the trial itself. As you can imagine, none of my evidence was submitted. 75% of the trial was about my baby daddy's career, which I had given him enough financial proof. He didn't need to dwell on it that much. And I knew I was fucked when he was like, this isn't about child custody, it's about child support. Even the judge looked at him. And honestly, I could not control my body language. I'm definitely the type of person that if I stay quiet, my body does it, and it's just like. So you know how a lawyer's supposed to prep you, right? No idea his line of questioning. No idea. So when he asked me questions like, is he a good dad? Baby, I'm autistic. I cannot do this shit on the spot. I'm going to tell you the truth. And no, I can't read the room. I'm not a read the room type of bitch. That's ableism. Like, come on, bitch. How was I supposed to know I was supposed to say he's a good dad? I don't know the game plan. I just know the truth. Then I can't even speak. And he also doesn't counter any of the things that my baby daddy says, even though I write in the notes to him. For example, the judge asked valid questions and I see how I looked given the lack of information. So it made me look money hungry. Little does she know that I was literally left in negatives. And how was I going to pay it? I had to do a lot of things. I've been selling goods, all these things, and I have a rent that I can't afford. I have medical bills from Cade's pregnancy that this man won't even pay for. So he did not bring up anything pertinent that I literally had proof of. Like, I literally have proof that this man is an ecstasy addict. Like, nothing. The conditions of the home, nothing. Okay, fast forward. Why do the kids get taken away? 3 factors according to the judge. 1, distance. I am far from Cairo's school, even though I work 5 minutes the street away from his school, but whatever. My transportation issues. At that moment, my car wasn't fixed. It's fixed now, y'all. And then this one is gonna be my favorite one. Just because it's so ironic. But again, she didn't have the information. She believed that he would foster a better relationship. She admitted she didn't have much to lean on and this was a difficult choice. However, based off of my tone, my matter-of-fact tone, and the fact that I couldn't even bring myself to say that he was a good parent, even though my lawyer was probing me. So yeah, that happened. Now this is what happened at the hearing. Now tune in for part 2 about the aftermath. Part 2 of my kids got taken away. So as you can assume, everyone was in shock, but obviously if the judge didn't get all the information, such as life. I will tell you right now, at 6:07 p.m. is when the boys left with him. Yes, I will never forget. You know, there's just key moments in your life that you'll never forget. And like, y'all see like this house and stuff. Houses are a nuisance. I just spent all these years being a stay-at-home mom, like housewife type of vibes. This is really for my kids.
Like the backyard right there, that was supposed to be for my kids. This was supposed to be, he going to a bougie private school so his friends wouldn't be ashamed, blah, blah, blah. From 6 or 7 p.m., I went in the backyard, blasted gospel, and I journaled. And I just kept praying about it until I found some sort of solace, which was literally at 2 a.m. So my baby daddy does what the typical narcissist does, which is the smear campaign. I thought I had made sure to protect myself from that, but somehow he infiltrated the circle just a little bit, out here lying. He called my friend, and my friend thought that he was actually well-intentioned, and was like, Nellie, after what happened, I'm trying to talk to her. I want to give her more time. Mind you, I'm like, hey, can I get them every weekend instead of every other weekend? Because I never did that to you. I always let you see them every weekend. And of course, he said no. You said no. So honestly, I broke down with my friend. I still don't even know what he told her, because after that first sentence, I'm like, I don't want to hear it anymore. Because it was just that was the last time I allowed that man to really hurt me. And I mean, now, I'm not gonna lie, I've finally gotten to a place where if my baby daddy says something, you know what? If you heard something, double it, bitch. I don't care. I really fucking don't. Double it. I did that and then some. Now I'm back on social media because I want funds. My baby daddy want me to pay him child support, right? This is where your money will be coming from, because I don't got it. So next day, spoke to my boss and was like, I need a couple days off, but I'll make sure that everybody good. My boss was God sent, said, I will handle that. That is one of the worst things that could happen to somebody. Take the whole week off. So that was Tuesday. I didn't come back in office till next Tuesday, and I needed that. That's the stillness that I needed, and I just sat there until I accepted it. I believe everything happens for a reason, especially shit like this that's very odd. I believe that I needed this. I needed this break because I had a traumatic childhood, then I had an abusive relationship, and then I had the kids, and I was trying to overcompensate for my childhood and because of how I felt about myself with the kids. So I haven't really lived for myself ever. And God didn't take me this far. All the things that I've gone through and accomplished, and just for nothing. I'm not meant to just be the angry mom, so it's fine. You want them, you got them. Now in part 3, I'm gonna talk about how me and my baby daddy have been doing. After I made peace with it, spoke to God thoroughly, over and over again, right? I'm like, I'm just gonna ignore him. Slight remarks, I just ignored. I just let him be, and I gave him very lawyerish answers. Just need some time for me. But then, after 5 weeks, I forgot that I have a baby mama and not a baby daddy. I don't know what happened to him on week 5, but he was on one. Oh, shit, bitch. I rambled, so let's get straight to the point of what my baby daddy has done since week 5. He threatened my lease when I was trying to move because I used my order of protection and evidence that his little side bitch sent me of him trying to pay her and her friends to jump me. He called me a liar because I obviously didn't show him the proof, and said that he'd report me to my landlord and show no mercy. In the fall season, at the beginning of the school year, he accuses me of giving Cage strep because of my poor choices. Okay, next. For some odd reason, he's in communication with my lawyer, yet my lawyer won't answer any of my questions. So when the order was signed, he pulled up with my strep throat 1-year-old child to the Marietta court to get an official copy to show me and brag and call me a little girl and laugh and say he's going to chase me down for child support of $500-something. For context, the court deemed that he makes $33,000 a month. I make $53,000 a year. I can't afford no 500-something, period. He let me see the kids one day out the week, every week, and I wanted my day to be Sunday because I wanted to build that church relationship with him. And since my son is saying he doesn't like being black, I wanted him to join a club since he has taken him out all of his extracurriculars and therapy since he took him. But because he knows how much church means to me, he decided to be petty and give me no reason and be like, actually, my weekend is your weekend and your weekend is your weekend. So, no, you can't have them for Sunday. If anything, I'm going to take them every other week to New York. Every other week to New York? You mean with the family? What?
Oh no, not them sexual abusers who fucking don't even know they're sexual abusers and hide that shit because they act like they shit don't stink. But okay, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Okay. Also, for those asking, I have the kids every other weekend, even though I never, when I have full custody with the protective order, never did that to him. I let him have the kids every single weekend. And then in the month of June, when the car broke down and mentally, like, that shit really had me sad, I gave him the kids for the month of June because I always put the kids first. But yeah, no, he won't give me an actual reason why I can't just have my kids every weekend. And also when I was at the court, I actually requested for 50-50, but yeah. Then I forgot Cade's medicine. And instead of speaking to me, he calls the police as if forgetting a child's medicine is illegal. Me and the police officer were quite confused. Very, very, very confused. He said it was his first time making a call like this. So yeah. Pray for my baby daddy, y'all, because that's all I can do for him. Because the sooner he finds him some happiness or some good pussy, the sooner I will be left alone. Because these are just very unnecessary harassments. And this is why I'm back on TikTok. One, I have tried the ultra-religious method. I have tried the quiet method. I've tried every method with my baby daddy. And if I'm still going to be harassed, I might as well get paid to tell my story, honestly. And I know because he's mentally unwell, a part of him wants me to talk about him on my page. However, I mean, outside of the updates of the trial and the post-aftermath, you're still, like, not a relevant factor. Like, the only way you can make yourself relevant is by hurting my children. And that's when you will be spoken on, which then brings me to the next topic of having a meeting with Kyra's teacher and honestly ending up with a panic attack later today. Because I didn't know how not supported and how my child was regressing and just a bunch of other things. And it just, the body holds trauma. I had a very traumatizing childhood and I made a lot of promises to myself to not repeat with Cairo, yet my children are taking out my control and then going through exactly what the fuck I said they wouldn't go through. And there's nothing I can do about it. Yeah. That's the only way you're going to get spoken on. So unless you're that diabolical, the only way I will talk about you on this page is if it affects my children, because we're pretty far removed now. That once I move at the end of this week, there really isn't much to talk about. I mean, yeah, I have medical bills that got sent to collections from Cade. Yeah, I had your business bills that got sent. But you know what? God will provide for that. I'm not arguing anymore with your ass about anything. Stopped arguing from the day, August 23rd, that you took away my kids. I haven't argued about no fucking money-related expense. You got it. And I have provided enough of a foundation for myself that I'm good.